Funny thing is I got places to go. Why they keep standing there hoping I move too slow? They think they're the battle, they ain't even close. Just another thing moving around on the road. Every path got trouble, every climb got pain. I don't stop my journey just to argue in the rain. They keep making me the mission. I got bigger things to do. I was never chasing them, they've been chasing me through. Yeah, and come the experts with a lesson to teach. Talking from the shore about a swim they never reached. Everybody got a theory, everybody got a plan. Everybody knows the answer till it's time to take a stand. I keep seeing the same thing over and over again. People talking like judges while refusing to begin. And if you're hearing this and feeling called out to, maybe I'm not talking to them, maybe I'm talking to you. They think they're the battle, they ain't even close. Just another thing moving around on the road. Every path got trouble, every climb got pain. I don't stop my journey just to argue in the rain. They keep making me the mission. I got bigger things to do. I was never chasing them, they've been chasing me through. Maybe that's the part that gets me more these days. I can see myself in some of them in certain ways. Not the hate, not the noise, not the bitterness they bring, but the fact that they're capable of building something. They talk about the losses, talk about what they lack, but they don't move like somebody trying to fight their way back. The boss ain't standing here, the boss is waiting ahead. Some folks stop leveling up and start watching players instead. Into the future version, listening somewhere down the line. Don't waste your life turning another person into your grind. The road is long enough, the work is hard enough. You don't get stronger spending all your years tearing people up. They think they understand me, maybe they understand more, because people don't spend years staring at a closed door. Something in them sees it, something in them knows. You don't throw this much attention at a thing that never grows. I don't need belief from strangers, I don't need a cheering crowd. Life already taught me lessons long before I'm learning now. Every mountain stays a mountain, every road keeps asking more. Then the people trying to stop me were never what the fight was for. They make me the destination, I keep walking toward mine own.
All right. We're here for we're here in the post. Had to quickly change things over. Katie, this is gonna be your moment, especially for anyone else that might have their thoughts in terms of the EDP documentary, but we just finished going on through JiDion's and also through Kayla Hopkins portion of their particular streams. And I find it very interesting. But KDK says that she's got a whole bunch of different stuff, things she wants to lay down. And I'm very interested in what's going on from there. But also, for those who have been following the case as well, for those who might have been following since the documentary, because not all of you are really apprised to EDP, feel free to actually take a look at the actual documentary. And we can go from there. I'm gonna, with that being said, I'm about to pull up Jen, what's going on? How you doing?
How are you?
Oh no, make sure I'm gonna make sure I can hear you. Hold up.
Hold on, I can be my headphones.
All right, I got you. Sound good. Get it together.
Does that sound better?
Say again.
I said, did that sound better?
Yeah, you're a little low. Hold up. Give me a moment. I can go and fix that right now. All right, you can talk to me?
All right. Is that any better?
Much better. So yeah, go ahead. Let's lay down the case. We've been following the actual case, right? For the EDP documentary, for the Eat That Pussy 445 documentary, right? And
yes,
you've been very intrigued with all this, and you even came to nine points where you said you want to get a lot of notes and write down your stuff. Tell me what's going on through your head when it comes to this.
I mean, first of all, this whole documentary was fucking insane. Like,
It's a great documentary. Great documentary.
it's a good documentary, but I also have issues with it because I forget who said it last night. I don't know if it was Chaser or Zoomer or somebody else, but somebody made a point by saying like the whole documentary was basically how to blame a child for being a predator, right? And it does kind of come off that way because every time
I think that's the case
somebody
that's
fucks
made
up,
by. I think that's the point that's made by EDP in it, but I have to check. I have to recheck the chat. I'm not sure. You said somebody in the chat said that.
they said it. I forget who it was. I don't know if it was Chaser. I don't know if it was Zoomer. I don't know if it was Winch. I forget who it was. I just remember the comment because I was like, yeah, that's basically how it comes across.
Hey,
Uh,
you heard that right, Chaser? You got a
I'm
new
not
label. We got no. We're gonna do a whole new show. How to blame a minor. That's your new thing, Chaser.
saying how to blame my mind.
Blame a
Yeah,
minor.
but that's it was just so fucking insane. And then the main thing that's really pissing me off with this documentary
Sure.
is every time somebody fumbled something, they're like you said in the last stream, they're trying to play hot potato with it.
Sure.
That irked my nerves. Like with the Alex Lawson dude, he was even specifically asked, "Do you think that there is something you could have done better, or do you think there was something that you messed up?" Da 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 da. And he, for the life of him, cannot say, "I fucked up by rushing in. I
Well,
fucked up by contacting him first."
okay. So let me. I'm not defending these people, right? Because what would I know about prey catching? Absolutely nothing. But I think if you ask anybody in a lot of different situations, if you ask them, could they have done something better? The majority of people will turn around and say, absolutely, absolutely, I could have done something better. There was a question that I saw from another content creator, and the question was more on the line, could they have done a better job if, because I think they were comparing Alex Rosen and JiDion and Skeeter Jean in reference to Chris Hansen, which, by the way, is a tall fucking bar to have to measure
I
yourself
mean,
up.
he's the goat of it all. He's the goat of it all.
Right. So it's a tall. I mean, let's be honest. If you started doing interviews with people and you started doing investigative journalists, what would we would say? You're trying to bring yourself up to be the Barbara Walters. Like it's a tall fucking bar to go to.
But
And
this is where my issue comes in. Yes, it is a very tall order to fulfill to be the next Chris Hansen, right? However, it's not like Chris Hansen and how he explains his process of everything is some mystery.
I
There are
agree.
how many years
I
worth of
agree.
episodes, how many interviews of where he says, this is how we do it. This is how we make sure we catch
I
them
agree.
and nothing let
Chris
loose.
Hansen also has a big production staff behind him. Chris Hansen's also had a lot of experience of doing journalism because like he's one of the few, not few, but he's actually gone to school. He had to learn how to do this stuff. And a lot of people were talking about our influencers, YouTubers. They didn't go to school for journalism. They didn't figure out how to talk to people, blah, 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 all that different stuff, right? But also, like, it's not like any of them, let's just say for this guy who I'm still gonna shit talk, by the way. I'm gonna and that's Skeeter Jean, right? The fake
Oh my God.
I'm gonna call him the Timu Chris Hansen, right? Let's just say we have him out there, right? It's not like you can just say, hey, I want to be a prey catcher just like you, Chris Hansen. I'm gonna send you an email and then Chris Hansen answered. He's not gonna answer you. You're not really known for doing anything. So Skeeter G did a lot of stuff and a lot of these other people as well. Because if you see a lot of prey catching content like I have, by the way, a lot of prey catching content are not even like Alex Rosen or even like JiDion, by the way, who have put people behind jail, believe it or not. They work with police officers and departments to actually get people behind jail. So they are actually responsible for doing things like that, which boils my fucking like which really grinds my gears because they fucked up so monumentally.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions for you.
Yeah,
Was
versus a lot of other prey catchers that I see, that the only reason why they lure the person, the predator, out is just so they can smack them upside the head or chase them down and beat them up, which is not the way to do things. But go ahead.
yeah, that was going to be my question for you, was because I couldn't understand where Skeeter came into this, and then to see it get botched so fucking bad. Was he known to be a predator catcher before JiDion brought him in?
Yes. So no, not before JiDion brought him in. So the way it happened was JiDion was doing different content altogether. And what happened is when JiDion had this thing happen in his server, the EDP thing already happened with the first girl, Sophie. And
right, because that was all Alex Robbins.
That was the 13-year-old, right? So now the 15-year-old happens in his server, and now EDP is already known as being the cupcake meme. That's how I really remember him. And at the time, the rise of the Timu Chris Hansen was Skeeter Gene. So he reached out to Skeeter Gene, and that's how Skeeter Gene got brought into this.
Okay, but had Skeeter gotten anybody arrested before him and JiDion teamed up?
It's a good question. I don't know Skeeter Gene's background. I really don't.
Okay.
It's a really
I don't either.
I don't. Yeah, I really don't know his background.
Because here's my thing.
I know more about JiDion and I know more about EDP. I really don't know Skeeter Gene.
Right, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Why would you bring in Timu Chris Hansen unless he has a record for doing this and getting the results that they were looking for?
Well, I think this way. This is what I'm thinking about, right? Let's just say I'm an amateur. I'm amateurish at finding people who are capable of finding predators, right? I have no experience. I would rather go with someone who is adept at getting information, adept at research, adept at knowing how to record calls, all this different stuff, right? Because let's be honest, at this point, let's just say even if he gets Skeeter Gene still didn't have the fucking numbers that JiDion did. JiDion had millions of subscribers already.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, JiDion has even now, JiDion has 5 million subscribers.
Damn.
Yes. So he's been at this for a while. Why wouldn't you want to enlist somebody who has skills that you don't have, especially in a range that you want to get into? Because prior to that, JiDion had a very questionable amount of content, but it did get him popular. So let's put that out there as well. By the way, what's good, Mama in the chat? Was good, No Chaser. Was good, Katie's in the chat. So many people was watching. Be sure to actually talk in the chat. Let people know that you're actually here. Trust me, we are a chat that we are a community that don't really bite unless you ask and you like that kind of thing. We don't bite too hard, but don't try to give up any dollars. You want to give up dollars to me, you can give up dollars to me, but don't do some sexual acts, because that's what we're going over. Anyway.
Hold on, I'm trying to break my.
I know you got a lot of stuff going on, so I want you to break it down. And if you even have it in order, better. Just break it down for me. You said we bite. Well, we bite Mama. I don't bite Mama. I absolutely don't bite Mama. I don't know what you're talking about. That's some crazy work. I do no such thing. I'm gonna hold up until basically Jen comes back. I know she's got a lot of stuff that she wants to talk about, and she's got Jesus Christ. I just now see what she sent me on Discord. She had a lot of point. Is this my stream? Like what is this? What the fuck is all this? She got a lot going on here. That is wild. All right, hold up, Jen. Here we go. That you got a lot of stuff going on Discord. That's a lot of timestamps. That's a lot of timestamps.
I told you I have fucking 5 pages worth of notes. And when you went live, I was at the part of the documentary where he was getting ready to talk about that girl that he started dating, the white girl.
Kayla.
And that's before I even finished the whole documentary.
Interesting.
Like see, the thing is, there are a lot of things that I was thinking about from our conversation as a group last night, that going back through it and seeing the entirety of the documentary, like there are certain pieces where I personally believe, like one of your biggest questions were, does he explain why he's attracted to the girls that he's attracted to?
Correct.
And no, he does not, straight up say, oh, I do this because of X, Y, and Z. But he does say why he enjoys it, why he's attracted to it.
So from your standpoint, what is that? Why is he attracted?
Let me fast forward, because the first few timestamps that you see in my notes, like one of them is the fact that it really seems like he cannot separate fiction from reality. Because if you go back to where he's talking about watching, Friday Night Raw and shit like that, and how his favorite wrestler was Triple H.
Absolutely.
Because he was the villain, he did whatever he had to do to get what he wanted. He idolized that.
Sure.
To the point where he couldn't separate that wrestling is fake. Triple H is a heel because that's the storyline Raw was presenting to the audience.
Okay.
And then the next part is
okay. Here's my thing about that, right? We can say that he likes Triple H and he likes the heels of wrestling, but here's the thing also. I like the heels of wrestling. I don't like the good guys. I don't even like Jedis. I only like the Sith. I am not a Geppetto.
But are you taking what they do in their world?
But I'm not Geppetto.
Are you taking what they do in their world, the immoral ways to get what they want, and applying it to your life as if you're them?
No.
There's the difference. Anyway, so here's the first timestamp that of where I feel like he says what it is that why he likes 13 to 17-year-old girls.
Okay.
At 19 minutes and 52 seconds, he's talking to the decoy that Alex Roston created, the Sophie girl or whatever, right? Sophie, he tells her he wants to take her virginity and fuck her innocence away.
Yes, he says that several times.
How many times does he say that he loves watching porn where women are getting destroyed because it's taking away their innocence? He wants to take the innocence away. This, that, and the other.
I think I remember him saying 3 times he wants to fuck innocence away. But I remember him saying that he likes seeing the girls getting destroyed in porn only once.
Yeah. Nope, he said it. a couple of times actually.
No, I remember.
Okay,
I remember the
yeah.
only when we were discussing porn is when he mentioned it. That's when he's on his bed with his fucking feet up, which is wild, by the way. But like, I think that was the only time he really mentioned that, because it was after him mentioning. And by the way, if you have the points where he did mention it, just let me know. I could absolutely be wrong.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to my notes because, as you see, I have a lot of fucking notes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's a lot of timestamps up here. I can see that. I recall him only saying that after when we started talking about porn, where it was before the AI. It might have been after the introduction of the ex-girlfriend. But I remember he was on the bed, because the reason why I remember it so clearly, that was the moment, is because that's when I was like, this motherfucker have a poster saying discipline? That's crazy. With his whole fucking little Mount Rushmore of like fucking like red pill men. I'm surprised Myron Gaines wasn't on that shit. Like what? I was like, what?
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
okay, maybe you're right. I think I added in the destroyed part because I was thinking later on in the documentary.
Okay, okay, okay. That's fair. Because I remember that. I remember it was after his red pill Mount Rushmore, where he said he likes Pearl, and the only reason why he likes Pearl is because she shits on women and she is a woman. That's the only thing
Yeah,
I remember that part. But
but right before 1923, where he's talking to Sophie about wanting to take her virginity and her innocence away and everything like that. At 1823, he admitted a month into talking is when it starts getting sexual with Sophie, right? And then he says, "Listen," and this is quoted in it. "Listen, I know your body is growing and you're starting to develop. That's why I'm agreeing to do this. I want to be your first." To
right,
me, that that tells me he doesn't want an experienced woman of his own age, one that might have a mind of her own and push back on boundaries and shit like that. He wants one, he wants a girl that's still developing because he can mold them into what he wants. He wants a little doll that will be willing to agree and do whatever fucked up degrading shit he's willing to do, because in his mind, once he takes their virginity, he's taken away their innocence, and he loves being in control of that. He said that in a specific part, that he loves being able to control, being in control of someone and taking their innocence. I gotta find that because I quoted that specifically.
I think. Well, let me just say this. I think that is the desire, and this is where I think that red pill narrative really forms in, because despite him saying that, especially at the time he's talking to a 13-year-old and he's fucking 30, like at this point, he really, honestly, just say overall, he has no real sexual experience, right? And
None.
well, he says he had one, and he said it was a goddamn Brillo pad, like that. It was
But
crazy.
this is what I said last night in the chat. For somebody to be as, because a part of me feels like he's trying to be the next shock jock Howard Stern type shit. Like he says and does a lot of things because he knows being outrageous is what's going to get him attention. Just like with Howard Stern back in the day, saying fucked up shit, being a complete dickhead and everything like that is what kept Howard Stern so popular and on the air for so long.
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of what started off with him being a shock jock, and he can't separate his real self from that, or maybe he is just a plain out fucking degenerate asshole. Either way, he
So I agree with some points that you're saying here, and if he wanted to move into the whole Howard Stern thing, just be honest with you, he's old enough that he would absolutely know who Howard Stern is. I'll be honest with you, a lot of people who have been in the age of the internet blow up, especially around the lockdown. There are a lot of people who have no fucking clue who Howard Stern is. It's like talking to people who are content creators today and asking them, did you grow up watching Beavis and Butthead? The answer is going to be no. That's only reserved for us who in our mid to late 30s and 40s. Most people who are younger than that did not grow up seeing that shit. So they don't understand Howard Stern. They didn't listen to XF or SF, whatever the fuck it was called, radio. They didn't do none of that shit. So they don't
But that's
understand.
whether he knew who Howard Stern was or not, he has realized, like Howard Stern did, that being a shock jock, being
Oh, yeah.
unapologetic degenerate will
I agree.
get you further than being the nice guy that smiles at everybody.
Well, can I be honest with you? He didn't have to learn that from Howard Stern. He was already
That's what
doing
I'm saying.
that.
I'm using Howard Stern as the example. He is just a
That's how he
extreme
blew up.
example. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's exactly how he blew up. Now, whether you can say, we can say like Howard Stern for those who don't really understand EDP, but that's how he blew up. Like, his frustrations at women
Yep.
were like he is the powder keg at the time. The way he blew up, he was the powder keg of the incel before we knew what incels. That's it. Like he was like the king of the incels before we knew what incels were. It's just so interesting that, and by the way, even in the documentary, they label him to be an incel. Like
Multiple times.
Yes, they label him as an incel, involuntary celibate, and it speaks.
Hell, at the time of the documentary, they even say, even at this time, he is still involuntary celibate.
I agree. When he had a whole woman that said, it's not like she said it's not like they said him and Marissa didn't have sex yet. They didn't say till this day they're still awkwardly trying to figure out how to break the tension. It said no. She refuses to have sex with the man.
Well, but see, that's what starts getting me, and I believe again it was either No Chaser or Zoomer who said it, but one of them mentioned uh, her refusing to have sex because she knows that he is attracted to underage girls, and that's a she's making it about the porn, which I can understand. And I want to go to that because I do believe the porn addiction started long before he was ever with her.
I agree. That part I agree. Yep. I agree with that part. I think when the documentary, the way that so there are a couple of things in my mind. This is just me personally. I'm personally looking at it from my opinion. I think if she got into this relationship with him, and by the way, that's if this relationship is real.
I see. I didn't believe it was either. The way they sat on the couch, the way it to me, it seemed a little too staged.
Well, yes, but at the same time, I've seen two. I'm just gonna be. I'm gonna just be fucking rugged with it. I've seen two large couples together, and honestly, I couldn't see no difference between the way that they were sitting and the way how those other large couples I've seen in my own life were really sitting. However, here's what the point I'm getting at. Right? I don't know if she knew. I'm not gonna say she's dumb because EDP wasn't online. When I say like this man could not hold the job, he could not hold an apartment because the internet was undefeated. This man was living in his car for a good moment. Now this motherfucker works basically two fucking jobs. Like I said, like this motherfucker, he had no place to breathe. So if you wouldn't become the girlfriend of somebody if you knew his background. So that means she must have done some digging. Even if she wants to do some digging, she couldn't find shit about him. Because let's be honest, if he says his name and she's not curious enough to go look him up, because for all we know, he canceled every account on social media because he couldn't buy anything. Because even his last website wasn't working out. So the motherfucker not working a regular job, and he has two jobs. So that means at some point the internet gave up on him because he was able to get 2 jobs. So I don't think she left him because she found out who he was. Because I don't think she would have got with him if she found out who he was. Which is why it was so crazy during the interview that when Mike asked her, she says, "I don't ever think that Brian would be the type of guy who would basically send nudes or send videos of him beating his meat to a 13-year-old." She's like, "I just don't see that." But when you hear like, "Oh, he broke up with her." "Oh, yeah, I broke up with her because the bitch was just annoying." I think after the documentary, she did her research and then she found out. And then it was like, this is a problem. And then he let her go. I don't think it was like, she was like, this is a problem. I can't do this. And now to save face, he says he broke up with her. That's my personal opinion. I don't know any woman that's going to be like, you know what? Yeah. You know what? KDK, me and KDK's been dating. And I find that she's a pedo and she's taking advantage of a lot of young boys. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, I'm going to still be with her. No. I'm out.
I get it, and I can definitely see it from your perspective, and I want to give her that benefit of the doubt. For the simple fact that I had no clue who the fuck EDP was until your stream last night. So I can give her that benefit of the doubt for that reason. However, a part of me wonders, because you know how predators are, especially if they have wives or girlfriends and shit like that. Let's say she went and she looked up, EDP because he mentioned something about the YouTube shit or something, and she got curious,
Right.
went and looked it up.
Right.
And she finds all of the shit that, Alex Rosin did, blah, blah, blah. Who's to say that he didn't slick talk her by saying, "Oh, I knew it was a dude the whole time, da 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 da. I only went to prove that I knew who it was." And she was stupid enough to believe it, because he says, even in the documentary, he goes for lower scaled women in terms of looks. He does that because he knows that they'll be happy with his attention, even if he is a piece of shit. And the way that she kept walking when they were interviewing her just one-on-one, the way she kept rocking and the way her eyes were, there's no doubt in my mind she was doped the fuck up.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Listen, first of all, I say this, and I say this to people, and they don't like it, but I do say this to people. And I say this about everybody, even myself, right? You could want someone who's fine. You can want someone who's got a lot of money. You can want someone who's in the best shape. You can want what you want, but it doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to get that, right? Because what I say, but what I say, the words that I say is things that people don't like me when I say it. You don't get what you want. You get what you qualify for.
I agree 1,000%.
You can be fine as fuck. You can be built body as fuck. That doesn't mean you're gonna get the baddest bitch. That you could be Coke bottle fucking body, pretty in the fucking face woman. It doesn't mean you're gonna get the most handsome guy. You may get only slobs coming after you. Like the same way how we look at this online. We can see this online. You say, why do I only get the fuck boys that come to me? Because that's what you attract. You attract fuck boys. Exactly. That's just the way how I look at it. So when he says like I'm only gonna shoot for the 4s and the 5s, honestly, that's all he. Honestly, that's 5s are above his pay grade. I'm just gonna be honest.
Oh yeah.
He can only shoot for 2s and 3s. To be honest with you, he went 4 and 5. 4 and 5s is crazy.
That's because in his brain, this is what is so funny to me watching him. Is mentally, he has, ever since the whole Martha experience, right? Where the bitch let him on and then broke his heart, when in reality, it just seems like she was being a friend to him. And because she was being a friend, he thought that meant exclusivity just for him without her consent. He didn't
Sure.
care about her consent until it was taken away.
Sure.
So then, fuck bitches, this, that, and the other. They're all manipulative, blah, 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 blah. So because of that one experience, he emasculated himself in his mind so fucking bad, but he cannot stand it that he has to create an alternate reality to fight his actual reality, that he can even score chicks that are 4 or 5. Because that's how he makes himself feel better.
Something that hits my mind when I'm thinking about this guy, right, is the part where he says he's basically just came up. He got money. He's got over 100K in the bank. He got a house.
Yep, that's 13.5. I got it written down.
Yeah, got a brand new car. Still no pussy, and none of that ever said to him, maybe you need to get in shape. Maybe you should spend that money, or like, getting your shit together. Like, maybe because the sad part about it is, like, when you think of the red pill community now today, the thing that he worships, right, is the first thing that these motherfuckers tell you is that you got to get your money together, but you also got to get your body together.
Hell, not even body. It's his. I mean, at the end of the day,
they tell you need to get fit.
Well, yes, they do. But even, and this was before he was fully fucking red pill. Remember that. This was before he was full blown red pill like he is.
Okay.
So, how many fat fucks do we know that were famous, ugly as shit, fat as hell, and we're still getting bitches? Fucking Biggie got little Kim. I mean, what the fuck?
I was just about to say B.I.G.
And before Kim went through all of the procedures, she was sexy as hell.
I'm not gonna lie. The first thing I saw was B.I.G. and the first thing I saw was one of the baddest bitches she ever got was Faith Evans.
Faith was pretty, but as far as a bad bitch, to me, that's Kim.
Faith, listen. Faith had a really good face. You look at the lips in that mouth. Shit, you knew she could do something.
But see, that's the difference. Faith was wife material, whereas Kim, she really was the side chick material.
I can't. I never looked at Little Kim and thought that, like, I would ever look at that as something to cuff. Never.
But see, that's because of the role.
There are some women you look at and you just go, no, I would never cuff. Never.
That's the role that Biggie put her in. She wanted to be a rapper. She wasn't going to be taken seriously as a serious rapper then. So he put her in the sexy girl rapper, the raunchy, slutty hood girl, character. And that's who everybody assumed she was because she picked up on it. She put her hood into it and it worked for her.
I hear you. So,
but that's what I was gonna say. Is it's not even about the body. I mean, fucking what the fuck is that fat fuck's name? Another one, Khalifa. You know who I'm talking about, huh?
You talking about Mia Khalifa?
No. The fat dude. He's fucking Muslim or something like that, and his go-to line is another one.
DJ Khaled.
Yeah, Khaled, not Khalifa. My bad. DJ Khaled, ugly fat fuck. And he still had beautiful women on his arm. It's got nothing to do with 90% of the times, the type of chicks that this dude was looking for could not have given a fuck what he looked like. It's how he acted. It was the way that he trapped himself in his own mind to think that he was a worthless piece of shit. and nobody wanted him. So he projected that onto everybody, and anybody that had he given a chance to possibly want him, he ran off before that chance could even happen. Just like here's another thing. If you look at my notes in the purple writing, there is a side note that I made where he says he finally feels a sense of accomplishment because he got up to 4 million subscribers with the YouTube channel. But that was the only thing he tried to fucking accomplish. Before
hey,
the YouTube,
true. That's not true. In the video, he crossed off the whiteboard is jerking off a sport. Like that's what he.
yeah, but at the time he's talking about how when he finally got up to 4 million subscribers and really started taking off on YouTube, he felt a sense of accomplishment. And that's because that was the real first thing he put the real time and effort into to build up.
That was kind of outside of his doing, though.
It was, but he still put in the time and the work.
I mean, let's be honest. If I even if I broke up with a chick, even if I broke up with my girl today, I don't think I would ever still bug out to the point where it would raise me to 4 mil.
I mean, I agree. I don't get why people were so interested in his fucking spazzing out. I haven't gone to see what it was that really caught people's attention yet. But it's the fact that he even says in the documentary, you know, he just kept uploading, you know, spazzing out videos because A, it made him feel good afterwards. So there's his dopamine hit right there. And then B, because he noticed it started gaining traction. Whether he knew or not it was going to hit 4 million people doesn't matter. It's the fact that he felt accomplished because what he was doing, what he was putting his time and effort into was getting seen.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's my thing is before then, he didn't really put his time and effort into something to feel accomplished before then. And then he's, you know, pissed off at the world because he has no sense of accomplishment until then, because he never put in the time and energy to try. He has a very warped sense of entitlement as well that I've noticed.
I think a lot of people do it, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people have a warped sense of entitlement. That's not to say it's a good thing. I think a lot of people just don't really have a great concept of what I had like 3 people just flash in my fucking mind the moment I just fucking said that. That's crazy. A lot of people have weird expectations of their accomplishment, even as a content creator, you know. There are people who have weird expectations as viewers who review content. Like I understand that. But by the way, I understood that way before I started content because I was working with people behind the scene when it came to content. It's a rough thing. It's a rough thing for people because we're talking about a matter of perspective, and not everybody has enough information to understand everybody else's point of view. But Katie, let's move into a little bit about what we were talking about today, right? Give me your perspective on what your thoughts on when it came to first JiDion. Since JiDion, I know you had your own thoughts on it.
Okay, I don't want so before watching JiDion's videos and shit, right? Mm-hmm. Like I was heavily fucking side-eyeing him because for one, let me scroll down to it. All right, so 3741, JiDion and this is going based off of the documentary before the shit we watched on JiDion today, right? My first question was, why the fuck did he add EDP to a fucking group Discord, knowing who EDP is for one, and for two, knowing he has 1,000 of underage children in this group Discord. My other thing is, why the fuck do you have underage children in your group Discord as a grown fucking man? Like,
Wait,
I
you
understand, if somebody's doing gaming content and shit like that, and they can't really tell, with some anonymous accounts, you can't tell if they're a child or not. But when people speak long enough, um, you can figure out if they're a child or not.
well, the question is, and I think this is very important. Do not you can't believe that just because you're an adult, you do adult content. There are plenty of adults who do kid-friendly content.
Okay,
Just because
you can do kid-friendly
yeah, just
content,
because
but do not talk
you're
to
18
fucking
plus.
kids.
Well, keep in mind. Let me ask you this question. When you said this man had EDP in his Discord, right? Prior to today, did you know?
Prior to knowing.
Yeah, prior to today, did you know what kind of content JiDion did?
No, I still have no fucking clue other than he's doing pred catching now.
Right. Which means that his previous videos may have been something that had been enough where it was kid friendly. Not to me, but what?
Okay,
It may have
again,
been,
kid friendly does not mean go and have a fucking Discord where you can talk to kids. To me, that's just set up for grooming behavior.
well, I'm happy.
I
Well, here's
mean,
my. So you are. So
for
you
fuck's
saying? Well, let me ask you this question. I think it's very important. Are you saying that there is no Discord? Because keep in mind, it's not like kids are really creating Discord servers and really running around crazy like that to be able to manage those things. Because it's a bitch to just manage a YouTube channel, never mind a fucking Discord. So,
Yep.
So let me ask you this: who's gonna be managing a Discord server if not an adult? Because you need time.
Here's my thing, right? Let's say, a 15-year-old is doing, content about video games. Let's say Call of Duty or fucking Roblox, something, right? Something that can be child friendly. And they create a fucking Discord so they can talk to their, younger audience. They are still a kid themselves. Now, let's say mom or dad of said 15-year-old who's running the channel or whatever, helps their child to manage it. That's one thing. But
Okay.
to have grown ass adults as a group together, like what JiDion had, knowing there are children involved, and then you all of a sudden start getting Kayla talking about EDP and he's a pedo, and then you got this pedo conversation happening while children. Do you see where it's kind of making my brain short
No,
circuit?
you heard the same thing I heard when I was playing the video, right? He didn't even know that EDP was in his Discord. He said he didn't
Well,
know.
I'm just saying the talk alone
So
after EDP was kicked out,
the
where
point I'm
Kayla
making,
was talking
Jen, is
about
that
wanting
it's
to
not
get
like
him
he said,
hooked up.
Jen, the point I'm making is not like he said, hey, I got this Discord EDP, you should join. Like, that's not what happened.
Okay, again, but that's before this video. Remember, we're talking about before the video today.
Before, if we're going on like, what the fuck? Why would you have somebody in there? Then I absolutely agree. Because in my mind,
And then,
yeah, go ahead.
and then he says once he found out about EDP being in the Discord, da 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 da, he was taken out that day, blah blah blah. Great. But my issue with JiDion is you're still a fucking group of grown motherfuckers with children in your fucking group Discord. And even after EDP was taken out, they're talking about predator catching and this, that, and the other, while kids can all still see this in the group Discord. That's where my issue lies with JiDion on one point.
I'm not sure all of that is so accurate. So for instance, if you notice, even in that Discord chat, we can't say that everybody who was a part of the Discord were all minors. We can't.
No, I'm not saying that they all are minors,
Right,
but
because you open the
they
Discord,
all do admit
even if
that
it's
they
open,
know that there are minors there.
even if it's open, so even if it's open for minors to join Discord, doesn't mean that now, like it's just strictly minors are just accepted to whatever else. By the way, let's just also put it out here. It's not like we're saying like all of a sudden all minors are just open to pedophilia acts or whatever, because we're only hearing about something that happened in a private chat between one other person, right? It's not like this was happening throughout the Discord server. Motherfucker was hitting on me in the Discord servers, all of it. No, this was the
No, that's
private.
not what I'm saying. I'm talking about when Kayla comes to the group Discord and they start talking about it.
And
And they're all talking
what
about
were
different ways.
some of the adults saying though?
No, I agree. This is my issue though. Is they are grown ass motherfuckers with kids in the group Discord. I do not like that point blank period. Because to me that just sets up for exact situations like what we're discussing to fucking happen.
Let me ask you this. Let's just say you're in that Discord, right? You're in the Discord. You're a mod. What do you suggest that should have been done? Because apparently you have your own thoughts on it. So what do you think should have been done right then and there?
Any child that comes in that is known to be underage, gone instantly. No hard feelings. We do not allow children.
Which means you have a Discord which means that there is no Discord that can be child friendly. Is that what you're saying?
No,
No
there
child
is.
could join Discord. They have to go. No, there is no Discord where there can be a child and an adult in a Discord. Keep in mind, it could be gaming, it could be cupcakes, it could be cooking, it could be Legos, it could be Matchbox cars.
A minute ago.
So you're saying that
you
there is no instance in any part of social media where adults and kids can be in the same room.
No.
So what are you saying when you're saying? But this is the point I'm saying. So when we have a Discord, we have adults in the room, we have kids that can also be a part of Discord, and it's not like all kids are just fucking still getting past their fucking still single digits. We don't just count children as being single digits.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying, and that's what I said earlier. If a kid wants to be part of a group Discord somewhere, it needs to be a kid Discord, like a 15-year-old talking about fucking Roblox or something.
How do you determine that? Because by the way, Roblox had been caught for fucking having fucking pornography shit in it.
I understand that. I'm just using it as an example because I don't know what the fuck kids are into right now. I could say Call of Duty for all I care.
And Call of Duty is crazy because you hear some of the shit that the kids say is wild.
Oh, trust me, I know. My stepson plays the shit. Oh, trust me, I know. I listen to him.
I'm going to crash the fuck out on some kids.
You trust me, I know. I hear my stepson just, you motherfuckers, God. But that being said, if I knew, he's 16, if I knew that he was in a fucking group Discord that had adults in it, buddy, find your own age group. And if those adults knew that he was underage, in my opinion, it's on them to be like, look, dude, you're underage. We just found this out. You got to go. We can't have you here. It's not right.
Well,
I wouldn't want my kids fucking around with grown adults. Blah, blah, blah.
I understand that. Now ask yourself this, right? I'm going to ask you this. It's important, and I don't expect you to really answer it unless you haven't been in this position, right? Unless you're a mod in a Discord, let's be honest, anyone who joins a Discord that's open-ended, right? Do you know, just based on username, who's a kid and who's an adult?
No, but that's my point, though. They even say that they know that there are kids there, which means that there are certain users that they know are children. And that's who they get in the butt.
There are certain users that doesn't mean that they knew for sure that the kids who were absolutely there were the kids. They didn't know that. It just says that
I'm saying the ones that they did know.
There are kids who can be in the server. It did not say that they knew absolutely that there were kids in that Discord call. It didn't say that. Outside of Kayla, it didn't say that there were anyone else who were kids in that Discord call. I'm not trying to defend it. I'm trying to be very pointed to that. There's nothing that said that they were kids in that Discord call.
But if I'm not mistaken, there is, maybe it was Kayla that said it, but somebody else in the documentary said that there were other kids in there. Which means if one person knows that there's other kids in there, everybody in that fucking admin group of that Discord knew who the kids were. It may not be all of them. It could be simple as 2 of them. But if they knew that they were there, they should have been gotten rid of, period.
Okay.
From the jump. And I'm not even talking about when the EDP shit happened. Just from the jump. Because to me, that's too fucking weird. That makes it too fucking easy for grooming to happen. For someone like EDP to come in on a fucking anonymous name and start trying to groom kids. That's where...
This is where we're having a bit of our confusion, where I think we're mixing things up. Because EDP did not walk into a fucking Discord voice chat and start grooming. He did it via
I'm not saying he
DM.
went into a voice chat and started grooming. I'm using him as an example of how it could happen. And which is why, if they know, let's say user fuck your mom 992.
Do you believe that if somebody like EDP walked into a voice chat with a bunch of kids with a bunch of people, and let's just say even
where are we getting on this voice chat?
No, let me finish my point. Do you believe if a person walked in like EDP walked in, let's just say there was 10 people in a fucking voice chat, and even if there were 2, 3 kids in that goddamn voice chat, that if he was fucking grooming them, that the rest of the adults wouldn't fucking put foot to ass and kick him out or kick the kids out, whatever? You think they would just let that shit rock?
I don't think the kids should have been there to begin with. But I'm getting confused where you keep bringing up the voice.
Respectfully, that wasn't my question. Do you believe that the adults that were being in that room would still let that shit rock?
Yeah, because they're allowing the kids on the voice chat. This is where my issue is taking place. For one, where is the voice chat shit coming up? Like, I get that you're talking about where they were all talking to Kayla, blah, 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 trying to talk her out of it. I understand that part. But majority of everything else wasn't even voice chats. It was messages.
Correct. And you can't do, by the way, messages don't have anything to do with a Discord server. Nothing to do with a Discord server, because that's why it's called a direct message, a DM.
I understand that. I think this is where you're losing me. If somebody, let's just say one of those moderators are a closet pedophile.
Sure.
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows about it.
You never know. I agree.
Okay. You never know.
Yep.
Allowing children to come in, and again, they may not know that they're children right off the bat. After a couple messages, maybe the kid somehow makes it slip that they're a child. Right. You know, oh, my mom said I got to go to bed. Oh, I got to go eat dinner. Something that indicates they are not an adult with their own mind and free will at this point.
Right.
At that point, they should be kicked out. If they're allowed to stay, that opens the gate for the pedophile admin. Hold on. That opens the gate for the pedophile admin.
Go ahead.
That opens the gate.
I think they should be kicked out of an adult conversation. Do I think they should be kicked out of the Discord when it's open to children as well? Because
but that's my point. No adult Discord should be open to children.
That's a problem, because by that logic, there should be no content that should be made for children.
That's bullshit. There are plenty of fucking children content like Miss Rachel and fucking
there's plenty of Discord that are made for children.
Okay, but my point is they aren't out here doing that. They aren't out here talking to the children.
That was the point that I made earlier. Are you saying that?
And I answered that saying only children, like a teenager wanting to do his own group Discord to keep his numbers up and shit like that. by saying, "Hey, y'all, come to," kind of like how what you do when you drop when you're going live and shit like that.
I love it. I love it. But let me ask you this question: have you ever seen, whether it's on content, whether it's on a Discord, whether it's on a private shit, Patreon, whatever, have you ever seen something that, hey, if you are below, let's just even say porn, whatever, because porn is the ultimate example, right? It says, hey, are you above 18? The answer is yes, and it lets you in. Have you ever seen Discord or anything else that says if you are above 18, you can't come in? Discord's not like that.
But the people, this is my point. The people who are creating the pages, it is on them. So let's say you wanted to create. Let's say you wanted to create a page where it's a whole bunch of shit talking, whatever, where it gets raunchy, right? And let's say your main content
Sure.
was, some shit that Miss Rachel or Blippy or whatever, and you want a group Discord for just you, but somehow a kid comes across your raunchy shit and wants to join your group Discord shit, where it's the raunchy shit, the shit talking.
Sure.
If you set it up to where you have to be at least 18 years or older, they can't get in. If
So
they somehow have a profile where it says that they are above 18 and they still get in, but after
love,
a few messages you realize they're no longer an adult, they are in fact a child who bypassed the
love
system,
that you said
it
that.
is
Yeah.
on you to give them the boot.
Love that you said that, because here's something that's very important. And we've already gone through it even on my channel, right? First and foremost, any minor, right, sees, are you above 18? They automatically know in their head, if I say no, I'm not gonna get fucking invited into this goddamn error. It could be a
Oh, for
chat.
sure.
So that's the first thing. Like, you have to be an idiot not to know the difference. That's the first and foremost thing. But the second thing is, like, you have to be able to have conversations and to be very aware of what you're listening to, paying attention very intently to understand who's just honestly fucking dumb and who's an actual minor. And even on my own streams, right? Every one of my streams that are posted, every one of my streams is an 18 and above stream. I don't make
Yeah.
streams for children. But even on my streams, you'll have people come in and turn around and say, I'm 10 years old. Or a person that came in and say, even recently, I got in on this account, and the account is not a parental. And I'm like, wait. And by the way, I'm doing a whole stream. And the corner of my eye, and when I saw it, I was like, what do you mean parental control? Pack this motherfucker up. They could have
Yeah.
just bullshitted. Pack them up. I'm not playing around. But you have to be able to see it, because do you believe that all kids are out there just outing themselves? The answer is no. Because
No,
they
of
know
course
that they can't be in the room.
but that's what I'm saying. The ones that they did know, I'm not saying that they could know 1,000% that every user was either a child or an adult. But the ones that they did know were underage should have been given the boot as soon as they realized it.
We're not in disagreement with that. The question is, did they know? We can't just say yes. We don't know. Because what if the person that was also in there was being a kid was quiet, didn't say shit?
I agree. They can't catch everybody.
So I'm not defending the kid. I'm not defending that the kid should be there during an adult conversation, but at the same time, you have a server that's open to both kids and adults that are doing this whole big thing. And if you knew that this was strictly an adult conversation, here's what I would have said: don't have that fucking VC at all. But instead, they had a VC. By the way, not with just talking about adult shit, but they had a VC with an actual minor talking about adult shit. That's where I would have drawn the line.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's what JiDion said. They were already having a conversation. It wasn't until his mod showed up and then saw what was going on, and they were like, whoa, no. We need to shut this shit down. That's not really happening. Because the other people who are also adults, by the way, who are probably not mods, were still willing to go have that shit. Still having that conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's exactly where my issue starts to come in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't say that all adults are built the same. And if you want to kick a child out the room, guess what? You have to be a mod to do so. I mean,
I don't have to be a mod, but I'm gonna raise fucking up where you kick me out and I can't see it, and then I'm gonna fucking report your ass, or you can get rid of the child. I don't have to be a mod. I'm just gonna be a dick.
No, you can't kick me out if we're both users. You gotta
understand that. But what I'm saying is I'm going to raise hell enough to where either the mods kick me out and then I'm going to report the fucking group, or you're going to get rid of the child so you don't have accusations of messing with kids coming up. Because as an adult, if somebody says there is a kid in a fucking Discord group that is not meant for children and y'all are allowing it, people are going to look at you side eye. And would you rather get rid of the kid or be looked at sideways?
I think this is really contingent on the fact that you have to have kids that obviously put themselves in a position. What the fuck was that? Where the hell did that come from? I just started hearing shit that was crazy. But you have to have people who obviously say that they're kids or not. And
well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is, the ones that they knew for sure were kids. Whether they said, "Oh, I'm 15, I'm 16, oh, I'm grounded for the next week," whatever it was that tipped them off. Sure. They should have been.
But we don't even know. We don't even know if they gave that. So that's a lot of speculation. We don't even know.
Well, they knew Kayla was underage and she was still around.
Which is why I say, because the conversation was based on her. This is why I said it absolutely should have been killed that shit. However, we do know that there are adults who will engage in conversations that they shouldn't be having conversation with, and not all adults are mods, and not all adults are going to be able to get rid of each other, because if you're a user, you're just a fucking user. And I agree that they shouldn't have been convincing or whatever else. Like, I don't like it. But let's be honest, we know that not all people are built the same way.
Sure. But again, let's say I had been a user and JiDion's shit and all of this is going on. Sure. That's where my whole, I'm going to raise hell until you get rid of the kids, or I'm going to report you and you can kick me out. Either way, people are going to know y'all are being fucking sketchy.
Well, he's also
or you can simply get rid of the kids. It's that simple.
Here's also the truth of the matter. We don't know if that actually took place or not. We don't know.
Which part?
We don't know if somebody might have raised hell or whatever, because quite frankly, that wasn't the thing that was important for the documentary. Because what do we know? That enough people said something that the manager of JiDion got to him, which means someone had to reach out to the manager to get to JiDion. JiDion wasn't there. So somebody must have said something for it to get to JiDion. So we don't know if that didn't take place already.
Oh, I'm not saying it didn't, but it just, do you see where a lot of questions start coming up for me, at least, in regards to it?
I understand where the questions come up, but I can't say that because the lack of what we don't see doesn't mean it didn't take place. Like, the evidence of absence is not the lack of is not the absence of evidence. There are things that we just are not privy to that could have taken place. So when you say you would have raised hell, doesn't mean someone didn't. Because why?
I'm not saying I'm just saying what I would have done.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but it's like when we say like you can't have a server that has children, and it's like, do you know how easy it is for anyone to get into any room? Because all you have to do is just read. Like, that's my point.
And then here's another thing. Here's where this kind of does touch on the videos today between Kayla and JiDion. Is so Kayla mentions that EDP messaged her, right? JiDion says in his video that he doesn't know how long it was from when EDP first started messaging her. If I'm not mistaken, she gives the exact date, which is June 23rd or something like that,
Sure.
to the time that she tells the group Discord.
Sure.
To me, that raises questions with JiDion as him trying to pass off the buck some. Because if you look in the screenshot that he shows, it gives date and timestamp. So if you compare the date and timestamp of the fucking screenshot she sends of them messaging to the time where she mentions it in the group Discord, there's your timeline. So that kind of bothered me with him. The next thing that bothers me with him, and I feel like this is where the beef is rising between JiDion and Kayla. So after watching both of their videos, it's kind of clear that Kayla wanted to do this, put herself in the position to do this as a child with the consent of her retarded ass fucking mother.
Yep. Which was crazy. I agree.
Yeah. Here's my thing though. How do we know that was her mother and not somebody just pretending to be? There was no video call. There was a voice call.
How do we know that he was actually talking to the cops? Because at the time,
I know. Trust me, that's coming.
Like, how do we,
without the verification, to me, that just raises questions. How do we know that she didn't get somebody who knew nothing about what was really going on agreeing to it, especially when the only part of the conversation we get from JiDion is him saying, "Oh, I just wanted to make sure you're aware of this." For all we know, he could be asking, "Are you aware that your daughter is in a group Discord?"
Well, let me ask you this as well. What gives you enough credence to say that wasn't her mother? That JiDion didn't?
I'm not saying it's not. It's too open-ended.
I want to both sides because I understand, like, the way it's being framed is that we're just going against. How do we not know the other side? How do we know? Because it shouldn't matter. It's her profile. He's hearing a different voice that supposedly is her mother. So he has to take at face value what he's hearing. How do we know that Kayla just didn't get her auntie or some other fucking woman? Like, how do you know? He doesn't.
But that's my point. Him is the person who's trying to steer this.
Also, Jen, how is he supposed to prove it?
Let me talk. Here's the thing. As somebody who's trying to steer this, I would go to her profile because it wasn't hard for EDP to find her.
How did he know that that's her mother?
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Let me finish. It wasn't hard for EDP to find her Instagram. Teenagers have pictures from their birthdays with mommy, with daddy, with this person, with that person, with it captioned 90% of the time. Am I wrong?
Did he see her? Did he see her? Did JiDion see the woman, or was he on a voice chat where there was a profile?
This is what I'm getting at. This is where my issue with JiDion is coming in. I'm getting to that. As the person who is trying to steer this whole thing like he was trying to do, it is on him to try to figure out if he can find out who her mother is through her profile. Let's say he found a picture saying, "Me and mommy and daddy on my 15th birthday." Then when he wants to verify by talking to the mom, "I want a video call with mom. I've seen a picture of mom. I know what mom looks like." That way he cannot be duped. That way no questions like what I have can be raised. And if she couldn't do that, it's an X in the whole thing. I'm reporting the whole thing. I want nothing to do with it. Done. But she wanted that 15 minutes of fame, which is what I'm getting at. Sure. She wanted that 15 minutes of fame because when he got in touch with Skeeter and Skeeter and him wanted her to pass off the communications to them, and she didn't want that. What is it that she said? No, I want to be the one to get credit for it. I want to be the one that gets credit for taking
other people. She said it to other people who relayed that message to them.
Yeah, but still, the sentiment stands. I want to be the one known for taking them down. So this is where I think the beef comes in between them. Is granted very sloppy work and very sloppy protection or attempt at protection on Skeeter and JiDion's
Mhm.
end.
I
They
agree.
wanted to extract her for her protection, and
Correct.
all she saw was a big content creator with another content creator trying to kick her out of something that she started.
I agree. We're in agreement with that.
That's where I think her whole, oh, JiDion, I'm a victim of JiDion, because before all of this, I could have easily believed she was a victim of JiDion too, because he kept pushing her and blah, blah, blah. But after his video, it's very clear that there were times that he tried to stop it. And but again, this is what irks me is
I
when
saw
they
that before the video because it was in the documentary.
yeah, when they couldn't stop it, they kept letting her handle it. And that's where my issue comes in with her parent, if that actually was her mom on the phone call,
Sure.
and with JiDion and Skeeter, because instead of being the adult and saying, no, if you're going to try to be involved in this, find somebody else you can go use as a platform, because it will not be ours. We will not be involved in you setting yourself up to be a victim of a grown fucking man. Either you hand over communications or this is dead where it's at. And more than likely, she would have handed it over.
I don't think she was going to hand it over. Here's what I'm thinking, right?
They played it too nice, in my opinion, in that regard. Because that's the thing. They all wanted to be part of that train that took EDP down. She opened that door. They wanted to direct it. And because they kept having battles over who was going to be in control, they kind of were too nice about it so they could get that story instead of making sure a child was protected at the end of the day.
I don't think it's that. I think they did what they were supposed to do in order to have a child protected. Her ego and her wanting to be the center of that shit is the thing that fucked a lot of things up.
Oh, I agree 1,000%.
So I'm sorry.
Her
I'm
ego fucked a
not,
lot of
not,
shit up.
put Skeeter aside because I don't know what the fuck he did outside of what the fuck he did. Right? JiDion did. He showed multiple receipts, multiple attempts.
Oh, I agree.
He didn't have to even try to. He didn't have to try to reach out to what you claim is a fake mother. What you're trying to
I'm
claim.
not saying it's a fake mother. I'm saying there's no proof either way.
But
not on her end, not on his end. There's no proof, and to me, that's sloppy on both ends.
here's what we do have proof of: that he tried to reach out to an adult. This is what we do have proof of. He made attempts to reach out to an adult, to a guardian. That's what we do have proof of.
But again, we only have the part where he says, I just want to make sure you're aware of this. We don't have the whole conversation leading up to that.
But what conversation is going to be enough for you? Because you can't be in everybody's everyday life.
I'm just saying, for JiDion to say, oh, this is what I tried to do, for me, it's, again, this is if I was him. If I were him, I would have posted.
You saw the documentary, documentary, and even it said at the end that the mother was aware. So let's just say outside of JiDion, right? Let's just say if Mike fucking understood, reached out, and was able to confirm that the mother knew. If you didn't see the mother in the documentary, you would say, how do we fucking know?
My point is, JiDion is he's trying to show that he talked to the mom. Yes. Let's say that is the mom, and that's not even a decoy or anything. Let's say yes, 1,000%, that's the mom. Okay. My point is, there is no part in that clip where he's talking about, I just want to make sure you are aware that your daughter is in the middle of a predator catching ring and will not hand over communications to protect herself. That's the part I would have liked to see. Not the whole, I just wanted to make sure you're aware. And her saying, yes, this is the part that fucking threw me off. Is, yes, I'm aware. She calls me her best friend. What? The fuck does being a best friend have to do with being aware that your daughter's in the middle of a fucking predator catching range?
The indication is that her daughter tells her everything. That's the indication.
I'm saying, but again, there,
understand that, then I don't understand why where you're playing coy with that. Like, you understand that part.
I'm not. That's what's irritating me is if I'm JiDion being accused of being a bigger predator to a girl who is a predator of an actual or a supposed victim of an actual predator, I'm going to put when I'm talking about how I spoke to the mother, where I asked the mother, you do realize your daughter is talking to a 30-something-year-old man sexually because she will not hand over communications to us. You are aware of that and you are okay with that. Those are the, specific lines I'm looking for. Except all we got from them was, I just want to be sure you're aware.
I think it's very important that something that you just said there. Is Kayla a supposed victim? Given what we know.
No.
Oh.
No longer. I believe she was before all of this, but no longer, no.
And by the way, which degree do you find anything that what JiDion said to be factual, but also what degree do you find anything that maybe EDP found as factual? Based on what you know now.
Based on what I know now, as far as EDP goes, he is right in the fact that Kayla tried to manipulate the situation to be a victim, get a story, blah, blah, blah. That is correct. However, he did not know that until all of this.
Sure.
So he was still willingly being a predator to a 13-year-old girl he thought was really into him, that he wanted to sleep with a 15-year-old girl. Sorry, not 13. Blah, 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 blah. He did not know that all of that was a setup until JiDion and Skeeter got in his face.
Okay, I agree.
So, of course, he say Kayla is manipulated everything, blah, 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 blah. But that's another thing I want to go to in a minute after I answer your question. Sure. So he is right in that aspect after the fact. But it does not negate that the entire time he was actively trying to sleep with her because he did not know that it was a setup before that.
There's no disagreement there.
As far as JiDion goes, again, I feel the whole thing between him and Kayla is they both wanted to be top dog in a big breaking YouTube story type deal. He wanted control, she wanted control. They both kind of had to give each other control in certain areas. It got fucked up. Now they both blame each other, even though he's doing it in a nicer way. Oh, I wish her the best. Don't,
Is he blaming her? Is he blaming her? Or is he pointing out only what he said, what he wanted to take away from her, and he gives the receipts? Because here's my thing. If anything, I keep seeing him saying that he encourages her and even people not to blame her, but only his receipts say that he tries to take away things from her, and her receipts, according to what he gives, her words say that she ain't giving up shit because she want to be the one responsible.
No, I agree with that 1,000%. But then again, this is where, and this is what I was getting ready to get into, is I feel like he blames her, but he's not doing it in a way that's obvious. He's trying to be nice about it.
Explain.
Because how many times do you see beefs happening online, right? Between two different creators, even though Kayla's not really a fucking creator, but you know what I mean. Two creators beefing, you got one playing the victim, oh, he's the bad guy, da-da-da-da-da. Then you got the other one who, yes, he did bring receipts. I'm not negating that. But it's, oh, I don't want her to face, hey, I wish her well, da-da-da-da-da, because people are going to respect the one who's not really casting stones. But here's where it really gets fucked up. And I made this a timestamp, right? So let me go to it.
Are you aware that in JiDion's video, he says that he spoke to Kayla prior to them both dropping their videos?
No, I didn't catch that. But I was also getting a lot of fucking ads, so there were a few times that it got skipped.
You better pay for premium. My bad. I had to do that to somebody who was trying to troll me in my comments too.
Anyway,
Gotta skip those ads.
They spoke before they both dropped their videos.
Okay, they did that according to JiDion. They spoke. They already had talked about it, about what was going on. He didn't know when she was going to drop her video, what she was going to say, but they spoke about it. He wanted to make sure that she was cool. And she told him that she was going to do a video. He reached out to her because she's not a content creator.
See, I didn't hear that. So that kind of makes me question things a little. Because on both their ends, but mainly Kayla's, because I'm a victim of JiDion, more than I am so of EDP, when, Illuminati, retarded shit, blah blah blah. I'm such a victim that I'm cool talking to you about you dropping a video about me. No. Some of this honestly feels like it's meant as a setup for traction.
Very well could be. Absolutely could be. I thought
Because
about that.
what better way to keep eyes on you after how long ago was the documentary done or released?
Well, the documentary was done for about 2 years. It ended pretty much last year, 2025. So, and it got dropped this year.
Okay, so what better way to keep traction and views on you than to make it seem like you're beefing with the person that was supposed to be helping you catch the actual predator, than to say that, I'm their victim more than I'm the actual predator's victim. And what better way to keep that traction going than to go back and forth with each other?
I see that. No, I'm not ignorant to that. My ass. I see that.
I'm not saying that's the case, but that was the first thing that popped in my head when you said that.
I get it. Trust me, it was in my head. It was in my head as well. It was in my head the moment I saw that they both dropped their videos on the same day. That was in my head.
Yeah, that was weird too. That caught my attention too. And then here's my thing. So because they weren't able to get the big pred catch video that, sensation that they were looking for because it all got fucked up.
Right.
So what better way than to get two people who were involved, like the supposed victim and the guy that was supposed to be helping her, than for them to be beefing?
Well, my thing is this though, like according to what I'm seeing, and you correct me if you see something differently. I see Kayla beefing with JiDion, and I don't see JiDion beefing with Kayla. I see the same way how I said it in my last stream. It seems like Kayla is pretty much like she's tired of this. She's over with it. All sort of stuff. She actually doesn't even really talk about EDP, to be honest with you, really that much. She references.
Yeah, she has the documentary.
Right. While JiDion is on the defense, like, I don't know why this girl's basically attacking me because I got receipts. Because Kayla gave no receipts. Virtually no receipts. Everything is just kind of hearsay.
She did get some at the beginning, but it went too fast for me to be able to see it.
Virtually none. I said virtually none. Because even during the documentary, when she says something, Mike Klum, who did the documentary, kind of does the opposite and shows the receipts that came from JiDion. I'm just like, fuck me. And then JiDion dropped way more than I ever thought.
Yeah, I agree. But also, what about if it's, again, this goes on to the whole, what if they're in on it together, makes it to where she's the mad person beefing with him. Oh, I don't know why she's so mad at me, blah, blah, blah. And that's why he's also adding in the whole don't attack her, da 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 da. He's just trying to help her get views on it.
I mean, that could be the case. Here's the thing, though. Here's the reason why I'm thinking that could be the case, but it's not really a fruitful endeavor. Let me tell you why.
I agree. I'm not arguing that. It's just another thought that popped in the head.
So, I can see it being something, but to me, it's not a fruitful endeavor because she has no other, unless she wants to kick up her content now. Then I can see that. I would say, yeah, there's something to that, because she doesn't.
But what if she is about to try to start kicking up her content?
Then
because I mean, she does say in the beginning that
I'm about to get there. I'm about to get there. So she has no previous content. So, and then if she was about to kick up content, right? There's a couple of things that she shouldn't have done in her most recent post. And that was, number one, talk about the fact that she's really just trying to focus on school. Number one. I'm going to put that as number one. Number two, she's tired of talking about EDP, which, to be honest with her, there's no reason we should ever know about this heifer if it wasn't for EDP, right? There's that. The third thing, which was, we didn't even have to know about it, but she brought it up, was like, she doesn't want to really be having any attention because of this, because she has a whole goddamn boyfriend, and she doesn't want any of this shit to really be anything that bothers with her relationship. And number four is that all she wants to do is focus on getting her degree. Now, that's not saying that she won't do content, but I'm saying she's given up at least 4 reasons as to why she said to the audience why she won't do content. She can absolutely be a fucking liar, because why? She's opportunistic.
Yeah, and that was my whole thing. Is she saying all the reasons why she doesn't want to do X, Y, and Z, or she says X, Y, and Z as to why she doesn't want to do content, yet she literally drops a video doing content, even if it was fucking heavily conspiracy theory, fucking box lobotomy bullshit. Here's my thing. This is something that I really, really, really want to touch on, is when they go to confront EDP, JiDion and Skeeter, right? The whole point of that day, and this is what irks my nerves with them a little, is they get impatient, too impatient. Because this, honestly, they could have still saved this at some point, but they got too impatient. EDP was supposed to go to Kayla to meet up, right?
No, to go to dialysis. That's what they ran up on him on when he was going to dialysis.
I know that, but that's what I'm saying is, before the dialysis, he was supposed to go meet up with Kayla, or at least that was the quote unquote plan. Because even JiDion says that, I don't know if he got cold feet, but he backed out, blah, blah, blah. And they decide to go confront him.
Correct. At dialysis.
Yeah, and that's where they catch him at the dialysis and shit. This is kind of what gets me too, before I get to my next point, because I have it as a timestamp. 43 minutes and 1 second. Decides to set up a confrontation because they said the sting operation didn't happen because EDP backed out. But then Kayla says JiDion didn't want to do the sting operation because he had a PI following EDP. So they decided to confront him themselves. So however that all fucking went down, they got too impatient and decided to go and confront him. What the fuck for?
I like you said that, because according to JiDion stuff, right? The reason why they got impatient, he said it himself, the reason why they got impatient is because they were ready to do everything with the PI and everything until what? Kayla made her shit public. And when they asked, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you making it public? She's the one that turned around and said, well, the cops reached out to me and detectives told me it was okay for me to post on social media.
before or after the sting offer? Was that
No,
before?
that was before. She posted and then they went. They were like, we got to do something because she already posted.
Okay. Here's my thing.
They responded. They
In
responded
that
to reaching out. They responded to reaching out to EDP. They responded and went to EDP after she already botched up by posting on social media.
Okay. That's where, okay, gotcha. Which even still, they still could have saved it then. Because at that point, well, here's my thing.
Yep.
When she posted, did she mention that Skeeter and JiDion were involved? Or was it just a simple, I'm a victim of EDP?
Damn, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember what. I don't remember if they posted what she said. I know he said she posted. I don't recall if they said what she posted. I don't recall seeing what she posted. I don't know if I was staring at chat. I don't know if I missed a glimpse of it. Chaser, you're in
I
here.
know
Was anything
I know
showing on screen that said that like what she posted or she posted something?
he
I don't
posted a thumbnail where she says, I'm a victim of EDP or I'm EDP's victim. Something
recall.
like that.
But she said
But
that
it was
multiple.
supposed to be a video.
Yeah, she said that, well, she said that multiple times. So I can't really say if that's something she posted online due to detectives telling her that she could post. I don't remember but her saying that she's a victim of EDP. She said that multiple times. She said that during the documentary. She said that
I know.
she said that in reference to
But that's what I'm saying.
the Discord DC. Like I'm like, I don't really know.
That's what I'm saying. In JiDion's video, he posts the first video that he's talking about. But it's just the thumbnail and the title of the video. It doesn't go into what exactly she said. And that's my point. So let's say all she did was talk about supposedly being a victim of EDP. She makes no mention of Skeeter. She makes no mention of JiDion. They could have used that opportunity to then get the fake that they wanted or chosen a different fake, set it up, and done it correctly and actually gotten him. But then they rushed into it wanting to confront him because, again, this is where the whole views thing comes into me because she jumped the gun. They then had to jump the gun because they didn't want to be left out of the story.
That's what I've gotten out of it. They were trying to set shit up. She claims cops reached out, so she jumped the gun, and then they jumped the gun. That's what I got out of it. But that's the way I saw it.
That's what irks my nerves because of the fact that there was no arrest. Nothing really happened when it came to fucking Kayla. I mean, she might have gotten a couple of interviews by dudes who had covered EDP in the past and shit like that, but she would have been forgotten in no time because nothing happened. There was no big operation, no really any video to go on to go along with what she was saying. So JiDion and Skeeter could have gotten a new girl that they could have used as a fake and actually done it the proper way through the proper channels with the fucking advice that the cops gave them, which Jesus, those fucking cops, they need new training, something. But here's the part that gets me. So when they go to confront EDP at where to go? All right. At 43:21, the exact timestamp in the fucking documentary, as they were watching EDP walk up to the diagonal.
You said 43:21, right?
43 minutes, 21 seconds.
Got you.
Okay. As they're in the van, about to get out, watching EDP, one of them in that fucking van, whether it's the cameraman or somebody else, whispers, "Oh, that's EDP. I love you, bro."
It's crazy.
So how? I'm sorry, but your cameraman loves the fucking dude you're trying to thread touch?
Okay. Let me ask you something real quick. The time, I want to make sure I hear that. The timestamp, is that from my stream? Is that from my stream or is that from the official?
No. That's from the official documentary. I made sure to go to the official documentary, so I was on the exact timestamp.
I'm so happy you did that because I could tell you I go back and forth for people already about it. I'm like, motherfuckers, it's in the goddamn description. Like, what are we doing here? All right. So I'm gonna go to that point. So I want to hear it I want to hear it for myself. 43.
Oh, please. 43 minutes, 21 seconds.
So I'm sorry, folks. I'm on my laptop. I just want to make sure I hear it. 43. I'm at 43:30, 43:05, 43. Here's the close to
43:21. So start from like 43:15.
I'm watching it now. You didn't want a meter. All right, this is 42. 43. 43:10, 16, 21.
All right, right there. Do you hear it right before he got out?
Yeah. I love you, bro. Yep, you got it. You got it. There you go. They said it.
So this is what gets me. Are y'all just all EDP fans and you're just looking to cop a fucking ride? Is everybody in on this together? You see what starts for me now?
Well, I mean, the man had millions, so yes, they were absolutely EDP fans.
But that's the thing. How the fuck can you know that this man is knowingly trying to get up with and fuck a 15-year-old girl, knowing that he tried fucking a 13-year-old girl previously, and still say, I love you, bro? The
I
fuck
mean,
kind of sense does this make?
I hear you. I hear you especially when you say it like that. I hear you. I got no words for that. I have no words for that. I can't. I got no words for that.
I heard that shit.
Is crazy. I got no words for that. I got nothing. I got nothing.
Oh my god, when I was listening to that, when I fucking heard I love you, bro, I was like, hold the fuck up. I know I did not just hear that shit.
Yeah,
Let me rewind.
I had nothing for you on that. I love you, bro. I love you, bro. Actually, no Jason said it. That's crazy work. It's crazy work. I got no words for that. That was wild.
So then it leads me to wonder, okay, well, maybe it's just the cameraman. But the fact that this whole operation was so botched, was this just a fucking group effort or at least a team effort between fucking Kayla and JiDion to fucking try to get their names up and get on fucking EDP because they're actually fans and they want to coattail them? So they bring in Peter because he's in wannabe.
Here's my thing. According to Kayla, I'm gonna try to piece this together in my head because I just saw it today, same as you. According to Kayla, in the documentary, according to Kayla, she didn't know who EDP was when she was first in the Discord. She didn't know who he was. She had to look him up to find out who he was because at this point, EDP had already been gone. From the 13-year-old, from Sophie, he had already been gone. And because Sophie happened, and I think 2 years later happened, and that's when Kayla's involved. And 3 years later, or something like that, I might be getting a little bit fuzzy on it. The documentary is pretty much finished. 2023.
Yeah.
But he's already pretty much cooked at that point. And she's like, oh, EDP reached out to me, and people were like, oh, yo, EDP, you sure? Like, she done her research, find out whatever. At this point, it's only been 2 years. You're not done and dusted as a multi-million subscriber fucking channel, a content creator. Let me say it now. You're not fucking over because the man is not like once he lost his channel, that was it. He was consistently followed. You saw the documentary. Motherfucker couldn't hold a job, have an apartment. He was like, motherfucker, that means right then and there, Jen, people kept still following him. So that means there are still fans even to this day. So when let's be honest, there are a lot of people who got to watch me, but a lot of people who not recently subscribed to me because why? not because they're fans particularly, or maybe they're former fans of him. You never know. You never know. You never know. But because he has so much notoriety behind his name that people will still tune in when they hear that there's an uprise when it comes to him. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking about this with OG Do Dirty early today. I said, when I was doing my review of this channel of the documentary on my last stream, I asked a very particular question, and you guys saw all the summary of questions that I guys gave you, and I did it in earlier this stream, right? Earlier the last stream. Damn, I realized I just did 2 streams in one day. That was crazy. But you saw the list of questions I had, and I crunched all the questions down to really one. Did the documentary give us what we were supposed to get from it initially? And the answer is no.
I think it does. That's where I disagree.
Well, explain to me.
Okay, so that's the next few, points that I talk about in my notes. And like I said, you got them right there.
Sure.
So let's go to 54 minutes and 52 seconds, where he starts talking about, oh, it's time for him to take accountability. So he goes and seeks therapy in 2023, right?
50, and you said 21 seconds?
55:21.
Okay.
In my notes.
I'm there. I got you.
All right. So he starts talking about how he wants to take accountability, seeks therapy in 2023 because it's not right to be sexually attracted to minors, right?
Correct.
So then he goes and seeks out that Kara therapist, right? She says they found the reason why he's attracted to underage girls, and it's his to explore and tell the world. Here's my thing.
Yep.
His whole, what's the word that I'm looking for? I can't think of it. I have it on the tip of my tongue. But his whole reasoning, or, his whole attitude, this whole documentary is excuse after excuse after excuse, right?
Sure.
They had actually found some real deep-seated reason as to why he was attracted to underage girls. He would have been throwing that out thinking it would save him, thinking it would absolve him, because that's what he's looking for this entire documentary is, if y'all aren't going to make the girls who talk to me take accountability, then I'm not either. And because of blah, blah, blah. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I don't know how to talk to girls, yada, yada, yada. If there was some real reason, like, oh, I was touched as a kid, hurt people type shit, he would have been throwing that out.
No. I no. See, this is what I went through on in my review video, right? On my review after the initial reaction. When I was going through this, I wanted to be sure I was very clear on what the documentary was about. The documentary was not about, even though it was important, it was very important, especially for those who didn't know, because not for the thing, a lot of y'all didn't know. A lot of y'all didn't know who it was. Right. So the documentary was important, but the initial reason for the documentary was put out very clearly from Mike. And it was a big fucking cascading view of all the people that were up there. Because if you notice, all those content creators, every one of those content creators had a problem with minors. Even to the point where I remember during the fucking review, during the reaction, I was like, I'm sorry I'm doing this to you, my guy, but it is what it is. That's not the disrespect. Like, I remember saying that because he was recently on a fucking charge when it came to a minor. Every one of those content creators that was shown on that fucking part of the film when it was cascading out and showing every one of them had a problem with deviancy when it came to a minor. Now,
right.
when it comes to fuck, I'm losing my point. I got hung up on my Rolodex just fucked up on me. God damn it. What was I just saying? My Rolodex just
You're
fucked me up.
talking about how the documentary is meant to show something,
Right.
or what it's meant.
Thank you. That's also I got stuck. So the documentary is supposed to highlight what it said right even there where they were cascading out is the question that comes from Mike Kloom, who's the director, that says we all get to this point when we're looking at the person who gets exposed online for doing these kind of actions, and we all wonder why. Why does a person do this? Why is a person attracted to minors? And he says, in this documentary, we're going to have that addressed. And as we go through the documentary, we go through his past, we go through the present, but we don't actually, we understand that he goes to therapy and he even gets something connected as to why he's doing that. And the therapist even says he needs to be able to explain that to the world. This documentary comes out because he stopped going to fucking therapy. And it's still at the end of my fucking going through, retelling, if you want to say it, it's still not explained.
To me, it is. It is. He says it.
I want to explain it.
He says it multiple times. We even talked about the count. He does not say, "Oh, I'm attracted to underage girls because of X, Y, and Z." He doesn't say that flat out. Nobody is really going to say that flat out. I don't think there has ever been anybody who says flat out why they're attracted to underage girls.
What I would like for you right now is to lay out the case as to what he states is the reason and why do you believe that?
Again, he doesn't specifically say, I'm attracted because of X, Y, and Z. But what he does say throughout the documentary about what he's into and attracted to, and how he talks about women his age, it's telling you without him realizing he's telling us why.
Can you tell me what those things are?
Yeah, I'm going back to it. Again, let's start with okay, back to Martha. When Martha broke up with him, women ain't shit. So women his age as a teenager, he's already viewed aren't shit because they hold consent, whatever. Then we go to Sophie, right? We go on to Sophie, and as he's talking to Sophie, he's saying shit like, I've always wanted to get to know someone young, a cutie like yourself. Listen, I know your body is growing and you're starting to develop. That's why I'm agreeing to do this. I want to be your first. And in some of the uh, recreations that Mike does is where EDP is telling, I don't know if it was Kayla or Sophie, oh, I want to take your virginity. I want to take your innocence.
Sophie.
You and I talked about the innocence shit before. Then, near the end, when he's discussing what kind of porn that he likes, which he also admits is age play porn, being as old as 17, but knowing him, he's younger.
You're referring to the AI.
Yeah, the AI, the age play shit, because he can't get a woman, I'm assuming, to do the AI, to do what AI does. He also says how he loves watching porn where, it's the running makeup down the face. He even says, I love watching them get destroyed and their innocence being taken.
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely fucking demolished. Yes.
Yeah, he enjoys that shit. That, to me, that says why. And then at one point he also says, I got to find it specifically. I want to find it specifically so I do not misquote it.
Here's my thing. It tells me what his interest is. It tells me, let me tell you what it says to me. It tells me what his interest is. It tells me his disdain when it comes to women. it tells me that he has problems with the hurt and how he views women. And I said this even in my reaction. It to the not my reaction, but my review of it. It tells me how he looks at women as not as individuals. He doesn't look at sex as intimacy. He looks at it strictly for sexual pleasure. He doesn't see women as people. He sees them only as sexual objects. It doesn't explain why he likes minors. Because here's my thing.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no,
what that's
well, hold up. If he
I
said,
got to find the comment.
if he says, I just want women because I just think that they're whores and da 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 da, and I want to demolish them, da da da, he could pick any age to do that. Why minors never
I
get
know
to?
that's why I'm trying to find what I wrote down because it ties it all together, and you'll see why it answers it for me.
Okay,
It may
that's
not for you. This is what answers it for me. I got to find it. I'm kind of skimming to be quick, but hold on.
no. Take your time, because I went through the documentary now twice, and it's sitting in front of me. I don't want to go through it a goddamn third time. That's a whole hour and a half. So I want to know. Even though it is a fucking very entertaining documentary. I ain't gonna fucking lie. Funny as shit. I mean, guys, for those of you guys who are in the chat right now, tell me what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? For those who might have seen it right now, do you think that he actually explained what was going on in the documentary? I don't even think we really need to go to a point where I'm trying to figure out whether the man has changed or not. Do you think this was all a grift? Pretty much the way how Jed and I might be looking at it between JiDion and Kayla. Because JiDion still got like 5 million subscribers. So obviously he doesn't need fucking subscribers. But Kayla only has about 3,000. So what do you think this is all about? Go ahead, Jen.
Okay. Finally found the spot. It's after Mike Klum tried calling the prosecutor and the sheriff to ask them why he wasn't arrested yet, and they declined to give comment. So then he ends up calling Chris Hansen and bringing Chris Hansen into the project, right?
Okay.
Okay. This is the part where he's talking to Chris Hansen. He admits at 32, 33, he planned to have sex with a 13-year-old girl had he not been stopped. He said that to Chris Hansen. Then he says, admits he enjoys underage girls because he can control them and can control when he takes their innocence.
I don't think that's enough to go on.
How is that not enough?
Because here's the truth of the matter. You can do that with almost any age of a woman.
I agree, but that's my point. He has emasculated himself so much from that very first fucking rejection from Martha, mixed with his fucking delusions of his porn addiction, not being able to separate life from fiction and shit like that, that he thinks that he cannot get any woman or try this on any other woman than a child who can easily be molded. And he even says that they really have nothing going on in their life. You know, da 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 da. He knows that they are easy to mold. He wants to mold them into what he wants. He wants to be able to control them. He likes being able to control them. Hence, when he really first started talking to Kayla, what's the first thing he jumps out the fucking gate with? Oh, I'm going to kill myself, because he can control her into being scared that if she doesn't respond, he's going to off himself. He loves the control and manipulation he can put over younger girls because they're not old enough to know better. They don't have friends their age that are old enough to know better. Whereas, let's say this situation, the same dynamic is between you and me, Resla, right? Let's say that you're a controlling, manipulative piece of shit, and I'm just some naive girl who still has her innocence, never had fucked up shit happen in my life. I have a happy go lucky outlook on life. If you tried that on me, and I went back and said something to my friends who are my age, who have experience as other 30-year-old women, they're going to say he's a manipulator. He's trying to control you. Jump him, da 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 da. They're going to try to open my eyes to it. Whereas what 13 or 15-year-old girl is going to be talking to a 30-year-old woman about this, to where the 30-year-old woman can say, baby, that is no, that is not okay. They don't. Because with teenage girls, we are so quick to want to fucking grow up, and I speak this from goddamn experience. We are so quick to want to grow up, especially if we have shitty home lives, to where we're forced to grow up mentally and emotionally, but physically we're treated as a fucking child. So when you have an older man sitting there saying, "Oh, you're mature for your age. Oh, you're pretty. You're sexy," we fucking fall for it like idiots.
I think
Because
I,
we
I think there's a lot.
so
I think there's a lot being thrown into this, right? And the truth of the matter is that I'm gonna fall back on somebody. I say fall out. We don't know what we don't know. I think just based on the fact that, and I'm gonna go back to even something that No Chaser said. He's been dealing with shit ever since the first girl in high school, right? So let's just say like he really had a thing for this girl, and he was led on by this girl, and he really thought there was something gonna be big with them. I think probably we say for a long time for a lot of women, arrested development, like we stop our developmental psyche and our growth when it comes to our attraction, when it comes to that. For all we know, it might be the same when it comes to him. Maybe he has a bit of arrested development and he doesn't see himself getting with anyone outside of someone who's young, because to him, the only time that he really ever thought that he was most attractive was in that age when he was young.
wrong.
Like
That's
so,
wrong. That's
so
wrong, though, Resla.
no,
You want to?
you didn't hear me say whether it was right. Well, rather, you didn't hear me say it was right. I'm making my case that's the fact that I think that that's absolutely wrong. I think I think he's dealing with arrested development, but the ideal that when he says like that, he admits that he plans to only deal with girls who are like 13, 15 in that, I guess in that case, strictly because he admits that underage girls can easily be controlled. I'm thinking to myself, I think you can find that with women who are even in their 20s, 19, whatever.
He won't try it. One, because he's scared of rejection because of the shit that happened with Martha. However, but this is where I was saying you were wrong. He proves that he's not still stuck, which is why he's attracted to younger women, because that's when he felt best. Because he shows later in the documentary he had a fucking girlfriend. She refused to sleep with him.
I was about to get there. Like, he did pick up a girlfriend, even though I have my reservations about her being a girlfriend.
I do too. However,
I forget how long they were together, but I find it weird.
Yeah, even though, and this is something that I'm using for the face value for what I'm about to say. He and she both say that they were dating. She refused to give him sex because of his porn addiction. Okay, whatever. So that disproves that he's stuck as a teenager, because it shows he can find women his age. He's choosing not to, because why? Why? This whole real or not real relationship proves it. His porn addiction got in the way of her wanting to have sex with him, because his porn addiction starts way before YouTube. How do we know this? Because he even says that when he went to go create his YouTube channel, he wanted to make it porn related because he had just finished jacking off the Pornhub. Which is how he ends up with EDP 445, which means eat that pussy 445. So his porn addiction started early in his teen years,
right?
And kept going,
I mean, to the point where he's with a woman today. But what did he say even after the whole breakup session? with her is the fact that when he starts talking about porn as an adult, he says he can't even get hard, even if the bitch is fine.
Exactly. His porn addiction was so fucking bad that the one woman that he does end up dating, that he thought that he could control and manipulate, stood her fucking ground with, I'm not fucking you as long as you're watching porn, basically. And he didn't like that. So instead of fixing the addiction, he just dumps the chick and finds something else to suit his needs. What does he find next? The whole fucking AI girlfriend bullshit. And what does he do with the AI bullshit? He has AI pretend to be minors.
Yeah.
Because it gives him that sense of control and power over a minor. He may not be doing it physically, but he is still role playing it, which still proves my point. He likes the control over someone younger because he can mold them into whatever he wants to mold them into, to do whatever he wants.
I guess the point that I'm at, I get that you're talking about the age factor. I guess I get that point. Like, I guess I'm trying to dig deeper psychologically. What makes him believe that just because he is dealing with someone who is underage, that he has control over them? Because obviously, when you're looking at him, guess what? He doesn't actually control that he has any sense of control.
I know that, but
I laugh even when we can see the fact of when he's looking at red pill people, that with the fact that he has a picture of Andrew Tate that says discipline, because he has none of that stuff. You can't control anyone. First of all, he's broke, and you can't control anyone with any form of authority when you don't have any form of discipline yourself.
Oh, I agree, but that's why minors attract his attention so much. And that's what I was getting at earlier, is speaking as a 13-year-old, as a 30-year-old woman who was a 13-year-old girl once, a 14-year-old girl, a 15-year-old girl. I didn't give a flying fuck about the dudes my age. Why? Because I wanted to feel like I was older by having older dudes into me. Not realizing they were fucking weirdos at the time. I'm sitting here parading around happy that I have an older dude that's into me. I'm not going to tell my mom about it. I'm not going to tell my dad. Well, sadly, my mom encouraged the stupid shit, but
I'm pretty sure women do that. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. But that's my point. He doesn't know that. And the one time he tried it with a woman, he realized, oh, well, this is one that I can't control. Fuck it, I can't control all of them. I'll just stick with children. He makes assumptions on a whole race of people, or a whole gender of people. Yeah, I meant gender, sorry. He makes an assumption on a whole gender, an entire gender, all because of the one instance where he was rejected by Martha, and the second instance where he couldn't control a woman and she stood her ground on a boundary.
Pretty strong boundary, by the way, to be a girlfriend. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, here's my thing. If I come, let's say you and I start dating, Resla, and I come to you, and I'm expecting
me, right? Let's just be honest.
And I'm expecting a relationship. If you come to me saying that you got a porn addiction, so much so that you couldn't get your dick up with me.
Yeah, okay, that's a different story. Yeah.
Either the porn's going or I'm going.
Yeah, that's a different story. That when you say that, sure. But there's no way you're gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna be your girl, and like, yeah, we not fucking. Like, yeah, that's not happening. But
yeah, but that's my
addiction. Yeah. Where if I can't get first of all, if I can't get my shit up, there's no reason for me to be looking for a chick. Like, just like what the you can't, like, you sitting there and you can only look at depraved bitches with mascara fucking running down their face, and that's the only way you can be able to beat your meat, nigga. Like that's not the thing too. I got real flesh and blood fucking in front of me. And oh, that reminds me, flesh and blood. But the nigga talk about like she won't give me no pussy. I'm about to buy me a fleshlight. I might even take it to work. I'm like, nigga, what?
Yeah, that's my thing. Is there are also plenty of fucking women who are into BDSM to the point where they want you to beat them till they're bloody, till their mascara is running down their face, fucking smack them around, treat them like they're fucking dirt on the bottom of your boot.
Good
But
time.
he doesn't even try. And this is also my other thing that I kept screaming last night in the fucking chat, right? So at
Yeah.
the very beginning, he mentioned, oh, I got a brand new house. I got a brand new Acura BMX. I got $126,000 in the bank. No pussy, jacking off the floor and calling phone sex lines. So clearly, if you're calling phone sex lines to beat your dick, clearly you do know how to talk to women.
No.
But this is my point. You know how to talk enough to pay for a phone sex line, right?
Yeah.
So why didn't you go look for a prostitute?
I disagree there. See,
Why didn't he go look for a prostitute then?
I disagree there because I don't think you've ever called a phone sex line.
No. Have you?
I know girls who, by the way, you mentioned BDSM, so I know girls who also have deal with phone sex line. It's not what it doesn't. You don't need any game. You don't need any like they pretty much will manage that shit. I've literally been smoking. Back when I was smoking, I literally would smoke a blunt while a girl be on the fucking phone sex line with a guy who's stroking his shit off. Like,
okay, but that's my point. If he can call a phone sex line, he can call a fucking escort. He had the money to get a chick to pretend to be his girlfriend to teach him how to fucking get a girl. He could have done any of that, but he instantly bypasses it all and goes straight to kids because that's what he wants.
Well, I said
he doesn't want somebody.
I said that even my reaction, I was like, "Nigga, you could have paid for a hoe." I said that.
Yeah.
I said it.
Well, you also got to remember, I wasn't here for your initial reaction to it.
Well, no, I think I said it in my commentary of it, but even I was like, "Yo, you could pay for a hoe. Like you got that kind of bread in your like, you could get your shit done. You can get your whistle wet. Like I don't understand like why." And I think a lot of it is like what you said, and when I come to as well, it's crazy. But I think it has to do with Martha. Like he has Arrested Development. The same way how we say like there are women that believe that they're as beautiful as when they first noticed that they were attractive, which happens to be very early, and they just don't really learn anything afterwards. I think the same thing pretty much happened to him. This was the most attractive he ever thought that he was because he got attention by this girl Martha, and he never got over that. And I think it's Arrested Development as well.
It's possible, but here's my thing though,
Sure.
is I feel like Martha, yes, is the catalyst for this, but I feel like the rest of it is him in his own mind, emasculating himself. He took one single rejection and built his entire personality around it. And if he wants to go about how he looks, he had the fucking money to get gastric bypass and liposuction and to get fucking implants to look like he's got muscles. He had the money for all that shit.
I would agree. But I'm focusing on the ambitions and the prospects of the mentality of what people have in their mind, right? And I'm thinking about this on both men and women. There are men who have money who turn around and say to themselves, I don't give a fuck why should I have to make myself look good? Like if the bitch only wants me for my money, right? But the same way how I look at women and turn around and think like, why should I have to lose weight? I got these nice lips, I got these big titties, and I got a fat ass, but they're unhealthy and they look kind of sloppily and slobberly everywhere else. But I got a fat ass because all guys want a fat ass, and I got big tits. Like you're not thinking about your stomach, you're not thinking about your health and hygiene, you're not thinking about what your beauty and your face looks like, you're not thinking about
your
how you behave, how you dress. You're not like there's a lot of other stuff that people don't even consider. You don't think about how you speak to people. Like there's a lot of things. And let's be honest, based on what we see on this guy, people are just like that. Period. People like there are guys like him that just believe that if you have the money, like money will pay for everything. Money will pay for happiness. Money will pay for women. Money, and then they learn the hard way, as he did. The same way how women believe, like if you got to add big butt and you got a big butt and breast, it'll do everything. Like you don't think about your personality. You don't think about your like if you aesthetically in your face look good. Like you don't think about the thing that's gonna be able to get you kept, not the thing that makes you get slept with. People are like that. And a lot of people get arrested development in a lot of different ways because they think it's the thing that the reason why they get caught, the reason why they get caught by somebody, you don't know what the reason why their inhibitions were, but the reason why you get caught by somebody is the thing that you now hold as a standard for yourself. Oh, why did you sleep with me? There were so many other pretty girls. Why did you sleep with me? You know what? I thought you were really nice to me. Not because she was pretty, not because he found her attractive, not because anything else, not because she paid for his drinks or whatever, because he thought that she was nice. So now she's gonna spend the rest of her life trying to be nice because nice is how you get the good looking guys. Same way for the guys. Like I think it's arrested development in this. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. That's just my thought.
I agree to a degree, but I feel like it wasn't.
I still think he jerks off to Martha. I ain't gonna lie.
For sure. But that's what I'm getting at. Like I said, I feel like Martha's the catalyst to kind of like that tipped him one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
But the part that he's stuck in isn't the why she wasn't into him. It's the fact that she wasn't into him, period. And because she wasn't, he then projects that onto every woman he deals with going forward. And instead of dealing with, that's where I go back to, instead of dealing with girls his age that he knows are going to have boundaries and say no and push back against what he wants, that's why he's going for the younger ones who aren't old enough to know better yet.
I kind of have to call, I'm not calling cap on you, but I kind of need to call cap on the situation. Because if there are women around his age, regardless of what age he was that wasn't interested in him, can we just be honest why they weren't interested in him? Because the money's not enough. Because the nigga is bigger than B.I.G. He is bigger than B.I.G. He never thought
I'm not even talking about his money, it's his attitude. He is so fucking repulsive. Like if he wasn't so repulsive,
it's not just his attitude, it's the way he looked. Not only is he not aesthetically pleasing, because here's my thing, I can probably tell, listen, I don't know that many because I normally keep moderately cute to attractive women around me, but even if I knew someone who was below the pale, I don't think that they would choose him because he's not aesthetically pleasing. And then when you hear all the resentment and shit that comes from his mouth, that doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree. He already has his looks going against him. But as soon as he opens his mouth, he fucking puts the nail in the coffin.
I agree.
But again, that goes back to what we were saying earlier with people like DJ Khaled or fucking Biggie, is they're both ugly ass big dudes, and they still scored beautiful fucking women because their attitudes weren't shit. I mean, hell, before Biggie even really fucking made it big, he already had Kim.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So it really boils down to personality. Most chicks can look past an ugly frame because an ugly frame can be approved. But an ugly fucking mindset, no, there's nothing you can do about that externally because that's got to come from within.
So what do you think of the fact that law enforcement did not get involved in a more capacity?
Beyond pale. as soon as, for one, and I was saying this in the chat in the stream that we just did a minute ago, or 2 hours ago, I should say, uh, is as soon, especially for predator catchers, right? Especially the online ones like Alex Rawson and shit like that. Uh, if they create a decoy, for one, they need to talk with somebody who has actively done numerous predator catching that is from law enforcement
I
to
mean,
get the
who's
correct.
that gonna be? Outside of like Chris Hansen, who that gonna be?
Well, I'm saying you can call, there are divisions of it. You can look it up and find it. If you know, let's say you and I wanted to start a predator catching channel together, right? The first thing I'm gonna do once we start talking about it, I'm gonna be like, Resla, before we can even look for any potentials, this is what we need to do. We need to find, let's say we're both in the state of Indiana, right? We need to find the division that handles cases like these. We need to talk to them, explain to them what we plan on doing, and ask them the best way to handle the chain of custody to make sure we get these motherfuckers locked up so they don't walk scot free because we fucked something up not realizing it. Like how Alex fucked up by contacting EDP first, right? So I'd write down a list of questions of what we should know and any advice that they give. Then, let's say we have somebody on the hook. As soon as they contact our decoy, that's when I would contact them again and be like, look, we have a potential predator contacting our decoy. How should we move forward? Should we turn this over to you? And it really seems like here lately in society, because of all of these predator catching channels and stuff like that, that a lot of the cops are allowing these dudes to do it to make their jobs easier. So all they got to do is swoop in and arrest.
Okay.
And I feel like they're doing it not really out of laziness, but because a lot of times law enforcement's hands are tied with certain things that ours as civilians may not be. And let's say the predator catching team that is the law enforcement team is working on like a big sex trafficking ring. So that kind of frees up their resources to focus on bigger stuff like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got
So
you.
I
Yeah.
feel like they're allowing a lot of this. But what pissed me off, especially with Kayla's instance, is
Sure.
the fact that when JiDion and Skeeter called the law enforcement and said, this man is actively talking to a 15-year-old. She's not handing over communications. We are not comfortable with how this is going down. That's when law enforcement should have been like, what is this underage child's name?
Yep.
Do you know where this child lives?
I
So
agree.
they could send an officer to her to force her to give it up and take over.
Of course, but yeah, she don't want to give it up. She ain't gonna give it up. But they should have absolutely approached her. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, that's my point. Because at that point, especially since the mother was allowing it, they could have contested the court that the mother was allowing the child to be in dangerous situations, which could have brought up negligence to where they could have gotten custody of Kayla and shut the whole fucking thing down.
I agree. Yep.
I mean, I hate to be that fucking severe with it, but I mean, clearly that's what needed to happen. The fact that they basically just gave JiDion and Skeeter advice on how to go forward and basically was just like, all right, y'all have fun. That shit pissed me off.
I can see that because that was a thing. I was like, wait, what? That why they what? Did nothing? That's all. That's all they're saying. Like, I was confused as fuck. I was like, wait, oh, you were really just gonna let them go, just do whatever they want to do, and not tell them how they advise or things for it. We'll take it from here, get as much information as you can, blah blah blah. But like I said in the last stream, there's the whole breakdown. It's JiDion, it's Caleb and EDP, and it just seems the cops, JiDion, Kayla, EDP. EDP has the least thing because he's the central thing that everybody else is around. He's in the center of the bubble. And Kayla just didn't want to give up anything because she wanted to be main character fucking syndrome. And JiDion, who also kind of want to be main character syndrome along as well as Skeeter, can't even give up any information if they wanted to the cops. But the cops saying, fuck it, we'll bypass the both of you, give us this chick's name and we'll go to her. It is the thing that I'm looking at. I'm just like, motherfuckers. Like, I just let that shit rock. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, because I mean, because to me, and that's what irked my nerves too with JiDion and them is as concerned as JiDion tries to make it seem that he was about Kayla's safety, which saying that he was not concerned about her safety because clearly he was at times. But once he contacted, he was at times.
Oh, okay.
But it's like as soon as law enforcement got involved and they wanted to take over, it's like JiDion was like, nah, I don't really have anything for you. And they're like, okay, well, whatever. If I were the cops, I would have been hounding them as grown ass fucking men and doing whatever I could to scare their asses into giving me her information so I could go scare her ass into giving shit up.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that's how it works. Coercion is not really a thing.
I'm not saying that's how it works. I'm just saying, as a cop, if I get a phone call from a grown-ass motherfucker telling me that somebody from their little Discord group that's an underage child is talking to a fucking 30-something-year-old man sexually, and when I ask for her information, all of a sudden I'm hitting a brick wall. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, of course legally, to break my foot off in their asses until they give it up so I can go get this girl out of the situation. Because I don't give a fuck about your views at this point.
Yeah, I agree on the whole cop situation, but as far as the approach, I don't think that really works for. Never mind if they're not even content creators. I don't even think that really works for a lot of people. I mean,
well, again, considering that JiDion got the mother's consent based off of what he showed, we're not going to go back into that, but based off of what he showed, he got consent from the mother. He could have then given that to the cops. The cops then could have.
wait.
Then he say that.
How do we know he didn't give that to the? How we don't know if he didn't give that to the cops. We don't know.
I'm not saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. Did the cops know that the mother was okay with it? Because if so, then that becomes a negligence case that they could investigate.
I agree.
And that's what I'm getting. If they knew about it.
Know this, this is why I also say like the part of the problem is that the fact that the cops already dropped the ball. And that's why I said I'm looking down the snowball effect of this, right? Because if the cop dropped the ball, the cops can't go behind JiDion JiDion and Skeeter after they fucked up and then go after EDP because the nigga's already on guard.
No. I'm not saying going
ever since Alex.
No. I'm not saying for the cops to go after EDP after the ball was dropped. I'm saying as soon as JiDion had called the cops, if he had given them the recording, because if I'm not mistaken, JiDion said that he did call Kayla's local precinct. They did some digging around and called her local precinct, which means it's not like, it's out of their jurisdiction bullshit. You see what I'm saying?
The report was actually filed. Yes.
If they had given the cop that they spoke to the clip that he included in his video of the mother saying, oh, I know all about this, I'm sorry, no cop in their right mind is going to allow that to continue. They're going to go investigate.
I don't. There's so much shit that goes wrong. I'm not really sure what's going on right now.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I said at the very beginning. A lot of this feels like hot potato at this point. Because when a serious question like that gets brought up, all of a sudden JiDion is, I don't know, or Kayla's, I don't know. You see what I'm saying? There's no real answer to the really hard-hitting fucking questions, in my opinion.
And keep in mind, it's not like they mentioned like conventional police officers. They mentioned detectives, and that's why I'm like,
Yeah,
shit is not
no
right.
detectives that go.
Like listen, I work with detectives. I'm like, they don't do shit like this. But then again, I don't know what. I'm assuming they're in like maybe on the West Coast. Maybe I don't know.
I don't
Like
know.
I'm like, I don't understand why cops would behave this way unless they weren't really in the loop or they really didn't fucking care and they just let shit rock the way it was.
I don't fucking know. Regardless, but that's my point. Is JiDion made a point to say that he called not only her local precinct but detectives. Now, I could understand if it was just some fucking rookie cop in over his head, new to the force type shit, and him dropping the ball. That would make more sense.
But these were
But
detectives.
not
Yes,
detectives.
correct.
Even without the voice clip of the mother giving permission, as a seasoned detective, I'm gonna go find out who the fuck this girl is. And if I'm not mistaken, they told them her name.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do everything in my power to find however many fucking Kayla Hoskins there are in my jurisdiction, and I will fucking knock on every single door with a picture to find the girl. And then I'm going to fucking ask questions, and then I'm going to question the mother. Oh, do you know about this? Oh, you do. And I'm gonna make sure that shit gets shut down. And if worst case scenario, I will get a fucking DA, whatever you want to call it, prosecuting attorney to
I'm
petition
hearing what
fucking
you're
justice to
saying.
take the ball
As I'm
down.
hearing what you're saying, and I'm thinking to myself, that is the proper route to go about things. Here's what just hit my mind, and it's a bit of a defeatist attitude, but hear me out. Number one, there's just not enough manpower.
No, there's not. Sadly, I agree. There's not.
There's not enough. There's not enough cops and detectives to be able to do what you're saying. Like we're gonna be able to knock on every door, and we're gonna walk around with the fucking milk jug pitcher and say, "Do you know this bitch?" Like this. Not. It's not. That's not happening. For looking for someone who hasn't actually physically touched a kid, it's not happening because it's all alleged. And by the way, all of their information is third party, second to third party. No one's doing all that.
And that's what's bullshit.
Well, then we have to now look at not necessarily the cops, not even. By the way, and if we look at the cops, we have to also look at it's a shame that we have to get to the point where we have to rely on content creators to give up fucking pedophiles, like. But that also tells us a lot about how low we are on manpower when it comes to police officers and even the criminal justice system.
Yeah, but that's what I mean by, I think a lot of the cops are kind of encouraging the whole predator catcher thing on YouTube because it's kind of helping keep predators off their streets without wasting their time and money. And B, it wins the predator catcher their fucking views that they're after, clearly.
Can I also say something else? And I think it's something that's in the minds of a lot of people.
What?
When it comes to the aspect of drugs, when it comes to the aspect of shootings and killings, when it comes to the idea of consumption of, like I said, consumption of drugs, dealings, shootings, killings, robberies, the things that people don't think about that are a big problem is pedophilia. And I remember I was having this conversation with OG Do Dirty earlier in the day today before I decided to do the stream. And I'll ask this question to everybody, so not just you. Because I see that we have so many cases, people that rewatch true crime or court cases and things like that. They like to rewatch things that happen on Twitter, and we need to see robberies and things that take place. Is it me, or do we have a harsher punishment against people who are pedophiles than we do people who are actual murderers? And let me create the scenario real quick for you, so you can think about
No,
that.
I, I
Let me let me
don't. I think it's the other way around.
let me create a quick scenario for you, because we can easily see, right, on a norm, almost on our monthly let me say bi-quarterly basis, of someone who runs into, say, a kid's birthday party, run into the freaking spots, shooting, hit parents, kill parents, children are gone, uh, circus balloon clowns, all that bullshit. And they were like, we can't stand this guy. We need to go look for this guy. They need to go to jail forever, things like that. But when I hear about no one dying, and we hear about pedophilia, we hear about the children who act, never mind, we're not even just talking about EDP, the ones who just show themselves to kids, but we're talking about those who actually get access to kids and actually do touch them, actually do sexually act them. And they were like, that motherfucker gotta die. The question that comes to my mind, versus the kids that got killed versus those who are all living in and they got access to kids. What the thing that I'm seeing, and quote me, you could feel free to check me if I'm wrong, but the thing that I see a lot online is that we have a stronger impulse to lock away. I'm being generous when I say that, or it's just straight up murk the person who performs pedophilia than the person who actually straight out takes a life. Yeah. And what is everybody's thoughts? So not just you, Jen, but everybody.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Absolutely.
Are we talking by the actual law's punishment or just by how people react?
I'm absolutely talking about by how people react, because if we went to the law, then we are all subjected to the law. But
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was
yeah,
asking
people love to
because,
go on morality, not necessarily the law. I mean, it's to the point where even if it goes to court, right? Do they treat each other
well,
fight on
that's what I'm saying.
cases?
Because based on your question, anybody who touches a kid, 90% of the people that you run into or ask the question to, what do you think about pedophiles? They're going to tell you a bullet straight to the dome. I'll be the first to tell you too.
Correct.
Whereas, as far as, oh, well, what about someone who kills a kid? Their first question is, how did it happen? They want to ask questions because they want to know if they're going to damn a man for killing a kid accidentally or intentionally. They want all the details of it. Whereas with the law,
Hmm.
when the law handles it, to me, it seems like they are harsher on people who kill or maim children or, are involved with drugs with children than they are on pedophiles. So it kind of seems like the opposite. When it comes to the law, they're harsher on one end, whereas
Agreed.
public opinion is
Yes,
harsher on the other.
I agree. I agree. I agree with that. It's interesting when I'm looking at the aspect of how people move in the law versus how they move morally. But it's like it's so weird when we hear about like many things, whether it's black or Hispanic or white, because the most I see when it comes to like drug cases or shootouts or things like that. And when we hear things like, "Oh, they didn't know they were such a nice person," blah blah blah. But let any one of those, with any ethnicity, any person, and honestly, females get it lighter than they do males. But let anything happen when it comes to the aspect of touching children, all of a sudden we're all up in arms. We're more forgiving, we're more lenient from what I've seen. You can feel free to disagree, any one of you, chat and all, about people who murder, maim, steal, than we are people who actually perform the acts of pedophilia. And I'm finding that very interesting.
it's very interesting, especially with you pointing it out, because I will be the first to admit I am one of those people. You mentioned something about pedophilia or rape against a child, something like that, and like I said, my first answer is a bullet to the fucking dome. However, as somebody who does have a relative who did accidentally kill a child because they were drunk driving and got
Mm.
into an accident, yeah, I when it all first came out, what happened?
You gave a
How did
caveat
it
that you
happen?
did there, but you had the caveat of saying, see, when you have there are two things that are happening within that conversation. What you're saying, number one, you say accidental drunk driving, but they're drunk, which means it was on purpose. They didn't get their shit spiked. They didn't say, "Hey,
No,
I
no, no,
gotta."
I'm not saying he was
No, no, no,
accidentally drunk driving. He was
no,
drunk driving.
yeah, yeah. That means they got drunk. They had kids they had a kid in the car, kids plural, singular,
Woo,
whatever,
that's what happened.
and the kid lost their life. This is a conversation that we can all talk about, whatever. But like, this is why I made it sure, like, it wasn't accidental. Let's just say there's a situation, like I said, where not the children, I'm sorry, not the parents, not a relative or anything. It was a gang shootout. Let's just say one of the parents is part of a gang. Gang runs in, pop, 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 pop. Everybody get it. The person that they aim before gets it. Innocent body stands to get it. The kids get it. They run out. We want them locked up. Some of them may go to life, whatever. We don't, but you don't really hear people call like death penalty, like motherfuckers need to get shot on sight.
See, that's where I'm different.
But when it comes to like pedophilia, now I'm gonna make the emphasis. This is not a for or against kind of thing. I'm just doing an observation. When it comes to pedophilia, no parents were probably involved. Kids were absolutely molested or sexually abused or whatever. No one died. That person, that motherfucker needs to get a bullet in the head. When I see this motherfucker, it's immediate.
Gotcha, bitch.
Like, I find it interesting how we view justice. I find it interesting how we view justice. And I'm just trying to get a perspective on it.
No, I agree. Can I say why I think that is? Or
Absolutely.
the reason? So
I'm curious. I want to know why.
Even though it's harsh, and I'm not speaking for everybody on the planet, but this does seem to be the main thing I come across and see in regards to, especially when it comes to pedophilia versus death posts, like what I see on Facebook or Instagram of something like that being talked about. The main thing for pedophilia is the harm and the stress and the trauma that's inflicted on the child who will forever have to live with that. You see what I'm saying? The mental scars that it leaves on somebody who is innocent, whatever you want to describe it, versus a child. And I'm not saying this makes it okay. I'm just saying what I've noticed in posts and stuff like that. When somebody dies, even if it's a child, what is one of the first things people say other than, oh, I'm so sorry, poor baby, stuff like that? It's at least they're not suffering. I think that is the biggest difference. The child that's molested or raped is left to grow up and suffer with the trauma of that, whereas a child that's killed, granted, both are fucking terrible, don't get me wrong, they're not left with the scars of it.
Here's the aspect of that that I'm thinking about, that I think people don't think about, because a lot of us are just not in that situation. When we say at least they're not suffering, here's a part of that information that's missing to me. The word anymore. When they're dead, they're dead. That doesn't mean that they weren't suffering. If you catch a shot out, you're bleeding out to death, you're in agony, you're in pain.
Oh, I know. I'm not arguing that.
It doesn't mean you weren't suffering when you have the kid, when you have the crazy mom or that drowns her kids in the fucking bathtub. That doesn't mean they weren't suffering. Like there are things that people can suffer, and I think the thing that gets taken away in the aspect is like they're just not suffering anymore. And somehow that lightens the load versus the
Yep.
actual punishment. And I'm like, there's a person that way.
But
I understand the person suffered, but there's a person that's still here. And I'm not trying to negate or lessen that or whatever. Because like I said, for the person that's dead, we lessen the load for it. For the person that's here that's suffering, they're still alive. So they can recover, they can recuperate, they might be a stronger advocate for things. Like we don't know what we don't know. Or they could become also predator themselves. Like we
yeah.
But the idea is that the person who perpetrated, right, is like death to them immediately. But the person who committed the crime that took someone's life, it's not always death to them immediately. It's, you know, what we get sometimes, we get the I hope they serve jail forever. But that person's still alive. Taxpayers, they gotta pay for them, whatever. It's not definitely. Or you get the person that, or you get the family that cries in the courtroom and they go,
I forgive you.
And I'm like, fuck you. Like,
yeah, bitch, I ain't forgiving you.
Yeah, like.
Oh, I agree. But that's where I differ, right? Anybody that takes a child's life should either their life should be taken or they should have something taken from them of equal importance.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
So kind of like an eye for an eye situation. I don't give a fuck if the whole world goes blind because of it.
All right.
However, that being said, there are a lot of instances I do not agree with, don't get me wrong. So let's use gangs for an instance. Like I saw a video years and years ago where a dude that was part of a gang got to running his mouth to people. They ran up on him while he had his daughter in the back seat or his son in the back seat. They shot up the car. The kid gets killed. It wasn't the gangbanger's choice to shoot the kid because they couldn't see the kid. The kid was so far down in the back seat, you had to be high above to see them, to see the kid. Their goal was the dad. But after finding that out, they deserve to be killed because, for one, you did that shit with intention, just like somebody in pedophilia. They intend to do it. There's no accident to it. They intended to kill somebody. They just killed an innocent child in the crossfire.
Right.
Two, the whole gangbanging thing. Like, why are you? This is where my issue goes to the father. Why the fuck are you having kids being in a situation or being part of a fucking gang where you know you could get shot up at any moment because one of your homeboys talks shit to somebody else and they know you're part of his fucking clique? You see what I'm saying?
Well, to put let's just add a little bit to that, to what you're saying. What if the person who's the father is a former gang member? And people don't care whether you're a former because you used to do shit under the gang. That can still turn around and be a retaliatory hit. So what do you say to that?
Oh, I agree. But that's my point. If you're, especially in the gang culture, if you have fucking kids and you're either still part of it or you're still living in the fucking area where you're part of being a fucking gang, you cannot be surprised and cry if something happens to the kids as a result of a retaliation of what you did.
That's a shame.
However, the people that did it, yeah, they deserve to have their life taken just as quick because whether they meant to or not, the kid was fucking taken.
Okay. I want to know your thoughts on it. I didn't really see anybody in the chat talk about it, but I'm like, I find it interesting that there are so many people that are willing to take the lives of those who were victims and those who are still living versus how lenient or a little bit more forgiving that they are about people who have already died from their perpetrators. I just find it very interesting. I need to do a little bit more research on it because I see a little bit more on the forgiveness side between very particular ethnicities, and I don't really see that across the board. So I wonder if like that eye for eye really stems very hard, and how much of a cultural thing that is when it comes to us as people. And I say people, I mean Americans and not non-Americans. I wonder.
Yeah.
So but you know me, I like to look at human behavior. So I'm like, why do we do this? When in any of it,
Again, I think
like,
a
no.
lot of it goes down to because humans in general, we're nosy motherfuckers. We want to know everything, right? You know, oh, there's a fight down the street, and everybody wants to hear how Bobby and
Exactly.
Lil Ricky got to fighting over Cassie type shit.
Yep.
You know, we love the drama of it. So, but when it comes to touching a child in any way, shape, or form, I think a lot of the instant death, A, is because of the trauma that it puts on the child, like I said.
I
And
don't think,
B,
honestly, I'll
my
be honest, I
biggest
don't
thing,
think it's the trauma. I don't think it's the trauma. I just think it's the fact that the thing that, because you know what's so funny part about it? Yes, it is the trauma, but that's not the thing that's initially talked about when it comes to people. What they say is the fact that two things come up that I hear the most. But I never really hear the trauma, because the trauma can only happen after an event happens. You know what I mean?
well,
What I
that's what I'm
always-
saying.
yeah,
That's
what I
all
always
I
hear is
ever see.
it's number one.
That's all I
Yeah,
is
but
the trauma.
well, yeah, but I
Because
have
imagine what
afterwards.
that baby, because a lot of people say, imagine what that baby went through. Imagine the trauma that baby went through.
Right, but here's the truth of the matter: they don't know until it actually manifests. So the two things
Yes,
the two things that I always hear about is this: number one, it's the fact that they can't consent, which is crazy because even if they could, it doesn't really matter, right? But that's number one. Uh, so the fact that number one, that they don't consent, but number two is that they're innocent. They don't know
yes,
better.
that's what I was. Yeah, that's my whole point with the trauma. The second thing, the reason why I think people go straight for death, the first one, like I said, the trauma, the ripping away somebody's, a child's innocence, all of that shit, that's all number one, right? Number two is I think a lot of people, because you hear the phrase all the time. I've even said it tonight, hurt people hurt people. I think a lot of times people want the pedophiles killed because if they're killed off, it's less pedophiles to create more down the road. Because how many documentaries have you seen of men, like take John Wayne Gacy, for example, that raped and brutally murdered men and stuffed them in his fucking crawl space in his basement and shit like that? All come to find out that he was touched as a little boy type shit. You see what I'm saying? I feel
Well,
like a lot of them go
I
straight
don't
for
think that always
death.
translates though. Like I mean, honestly, I don't think that always translates, and sometimes I think it's a matter of confusion. So it's not like always hurt people. It's not always that hurt people hurt people.
No,
Sometimes
but I was using that
yeah,
as, the example. Oh, this little boy was raped. He grew up to become this man who ends up raping little boys. So now they got to worry about is my little Timmy gonna touch children when he gets older? Is my little Jenny gonna touch children when she gets older? You see what
right,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Because with boys and girls, a lot of times it's two different ways that they're gonna end up turning out, and a lot of times it does happen sadly with boys. They either turn up, just fine, they live their life, or they turn out touching other little kids. With girls, they either grow up just fine if they have the right support, or they grow up to be super promiscuous because they feel like that's all they're worth now. And I feel like those fears are what drive the adults of today to want death so much, so in hopes to eventually eradicate it altogether, to where when you do hear about a pedophile popping up, it's 50 years from now, it's one of those once in every fucking 100 years that you hear about it. You see what I'm saying?
yeah. I hear. I mean, I hear that. I said I just want to. You know me. I'm always trying to be in the mind of what are people thinking, and then when I think about this, I'm just like, it's funny how we will hold outrage for somebody like this. And by the way, for the fact that we even have such laws to say that you can't be within a certain range of a school district, or the fact that we even may have somebody like it, say, an EDP, right? And despite the fact that people call him a pedophile, or the fact that a doctor will turn around and lessen that and call him a molester.
Actually, I found the correct term for
Okay.
it's called an ephebophilia, ephebophilia, which is someone who is sexually attracted to post-pubescent adolescents.
But the fact, like the point I was getting at, that is that even when that is the thing, no one has actually done. I mean, outside of the fact that he's been having a hard time getting living standards, lodging, and employment, no one's actually walked up like what I've seen in a lot of these other prey catching videos. Be honest with you, not from JiDion, not from Alex Rosen, but they lure these guys into areas to be able to meet minors. By the way, but it's never actually to get them arrested. It's just to show who they are online, on feed, on camera. And then what they do is that they beat them up or push them or shove them or whatever. And I'm just like, you're not doing anything to help because you're not getting them off the streets.
No, see those are the types that really irk my nerves because they're doing all of this for views and acting like, oh well, we got a space out there, everybody. No,
it's not enough.
half the motherfuckers in your town don't know who you are, or they're too old to fly and fuck about YouTube and what you're doing.
Or they don't watch your fucking channel, so they won't fucking know. Because here's my thing.
Yeah.
If they don't watch your shit, if these people are not registered, none of that shit matters.
Yeah, because that's how a lot of fucking, like, especially parents and shit, that's what they do to try to keep their children safe. They look up to see who is registered in their neighborhood. And if that motherfucker's name's not on a registry, for all we know, that same motherfucker is being invited to the fucking summer 4th of July cookout.
And this is why we're saying there are a lot of people who are potentially out there. And as much as you want to think that you want to make money off of them, and this is why the big claim for a lot, for when it came to JiDion and even for Alex Rosen was like, you guys fucked up because all you wanted was views and content. And I'm not totally not sold that a part of it was a bit of greed when it comes. Honestly, I think a lot of the idea of having views and content was a part of this. And I don't mean that just from a Alex Rosen, also JiDion, but also Kayla.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was proven in JiDion's video, especially when she said, I'm going to be the one that gets credit, nobody else. That's what told it to me right there. Because up until that point, I still held out hope that she was truly a victim. But when that text came across right there and her continuing to, oh, should I do this? Should I do no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Yeah, she wanted to be the one to take him down, which I understand as an opportunistic 15-year-old girl, as she was at the time. She thought that would get her name out there and that would kick open the door for her like she thought it would. But what she didn't realize with her not so big brain is that a child actually being involved can fuck everybody else up.
And that's why I was asking the question that I was in that stream, and I posted it. I can't remember now, but I posted it. Can I find it? If I probably can't.
Which one? The stream that we came from?
Finished. Like I had a posted question, and I can't remember what it is now. It was some time ago, but the idea was like, it was something about content, like how at what point do we basically, as a content creator or as content creators, at what point do we change it over and we just start putting it to the cops? Because there are so many people who are willing to fuck shit up at the stake of views.
Yeah, I answered that in the last stream. I commented as soon as the minor is contacted, because at least then the cops are made aware. and it's on the cops, and they can either say, okay, well, contact us if he tries to come and meet so we can set up a sting operation.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, great. Or they can take over right from that spot. As soon as a decoy or an actual minor is contacted, in my opinion, because then at least they are made aware, so that way, if, or in most cases, when the time comes for the pedophile to meet the decoy, the cops are already aware of this and are already on alert that there will be a day where, hey, there's, going to be a meetup. We need to be there. This is urgent, blah, blah, blah.
Agreed. Agreed.
I think, like with the whole Alex thing, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I am, but the whole Alex thing was he did it all on his own up until the sting operation. Or he did it all the way to the sting operation and then went and told the cops about it after he confronted EDP. And that all would have been great had Alex not fucking contacted EDP first.
Right.
And by then, EDP was already on high alert, which kind of fucked everything up.
I agree. Yep, that's exactly what it was.
And in my honest, I think I know nobody's going to take the time or the effort to do this shit. But in my personal opinion, I feel like especially somebody like Chris Hansen should raise the issue that we have so many of these predator catching channels now that are not resulting in actual arrests, that, and even taking to fucking Congress at some point, that you have to be registered with your local police department and go through a class or something
As a
to
creator,
where you are allowed, yes, as a creator, to do this, because all these people are doing, especially the ones that are just going to beat them up and not really take them off the streets, all they're doing is putting these motherfuckers on high alert. They're going to change their fucking accounts. They're going to change the usernames that they use. They're going to be harder to find versus somebody who takes a course or whatever, is registered through their local police department or their state, whatever, um, to do it, to where when they do call the cops, they say, hey, I'm so and so, I'm registered under blah blah blah. We have a sting operation. We need the police here. That way, the chain of the custody of fucking, you know what I'm saying, of evidence isn't fucked up. It's not
right.
fucked up by somebody contacting the predator first. They know when to run up on the predator instead of getting fucking trigger happy and camera happy. And their videos actually result in a fucking, court case taken off the street.
Hmm.
I feel like that's how it should be. Because I understand wanting to be, a cowboy, predator catcher type shit, but like you and I discussed earlier, a lot of these people are not taking the time to get in touch with law enforcement to find out the correct ways to do it. They're just doing it how they think they should, and either they're actually going for results that end up getting fucking thrown out because they went about it the wrong way, or they're just doing it to beat people up, which in all reality, if you just want to fucking beat people up, fuck going through the process, just go
Just,
look them up on the
yeah.
fucking search, registry, and go to their house and beat them with a
I'm not,
baseball bat. I
I'm
mean,
not advocating for it, but sure. Like I understand
but
the
I
fact.
mean, you see what I'm saying? If your goal is to really catch a predator, it should be with the end result of them being taken away and fucking cuffed because you have stone cold evidence they cannot get out of.
Hmm. All right. Yeah, that's fair enough. Any last thoughts? So I need to clear this up. Any last thoughts you got on this?
I'll probably have more later, but not off the top of my head.
I hopefully that like people will find a way to just like kind of like push back on this. Oh, God forbid. I hope they don't like really keep dragging this whole thing out. Hopefully, like this is it. Not a big got other two people that's in it. God forbid. I don't want to hear anything. Goddamn Skeeter Gene. I don't hear. I don't. I don't.
You know what? I will say this though. That was really fucking funny hearing Chris Hansen call his impersonator a fucking clown, basically.
I mean, and you can see how salty he was about it, but it's true. It's true. When I saw that motherfucker in the bunny costume, I said, "Oh no, nah, I can't."
Nope. Who, Chris Hansen being salty about it?
I wish Chris had said.
I think that if Chris was salty about it, but I think for the simple fact that Skeeter, like you called him, the Timu Chris Hansen, he wasn't really being serious about it. He was making it jokes, which to Chris Hansen, you're basically taking my entire life's profession and turning it into a joke or something to be made fun about when my whole career is about helping and saving children. I mean, I'd be salty about that shit too.
I would too. That's like real. Think about it, because I don't think I've really seen this right, but that's like someone taking the Maury show and making a mockery out of it. No, I don't really see anyone doing that. I mean, the Maury show is already comedic as is, but imagine someone just coming through and just totally fucking that thing up.
I mean, did you forget about Jerry Springer?
Sure, I remember Jerry Springer. I mean, honestly, that's a great example of what I'm talking when I'm thinking about people fucking up Maury.
Yeah, taking Maury and turning it into Jerry Springer. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy you brought a lot of stuff. I'm gonna sit. I am gonna think about the whole dominance thing when it comes to the age thing. Because here's the truth of the matter. We really don't know what he touched on with when it comes to the therapist.
No, mine is just speculation when it comes to the therapist.
I'm not.
However,
I hear it. I understand it. I understand the premise. For me, I just think it's something deeper or more nefarious. That not even nefarious. Let me take that back. I think it's something deeper or more. It's something more direct to him that we haven't really figured out. Something that hasn't been shared.
Oh, I'm sure there is, but I don't, in my personal opinion, irregardless of what this supposed thing is that they figured out, I don't see it changing the fact that this whole wanting control and dominance and to take the innocence from a young girl away is going to change the fact that it's a girl. Because like you said, he could do it with a woman. He chooses not to. And that's what gets me.
I think that because of his affiliation as an incel and wanting to be hanging around the red pill shit, I think they fueled that part of him. Because what was on the rise, and when he got caught in 2021, what was on the rise? Red pill content.
Oh, I agree. But that's my thing. He could still. He's how old now? He's 35, 36, 37, something like that now. Yeah, so he's mid to late 30s. He could still find himself a young 20-something-year-old, like a 22-year-old. But he's not.
That was way younger than I thought you were going to say. That was way younger than I thought you were going to say like 27. You said 22. God damn.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He could really push it. I mean, really, he could be fucking gross and push it to 18 and still be legal. But there is a reason he is choosing not to. Because even at 18, even still young, dumb, and naive at 18, you still have boundaries then. And he wants somebody that's not going to push back, period.
All right. So I am trying to push the show to get off right now, but I do have another question, and it just hit my mind now. Well, it didn't just hit my mind, but I'm going to ask you: what if all of this shit is just for EDP to get his name recognition back so that he could be able to get back onto content. What if this whole thing where he's talking about he has an AI that talks about 17 and shit like that, 16, 17, all of this is just a big gag and a grift to be able to get his name back out there, because nobody was thinking about him for years. So he can start getting his name back out here, and he can grift, and he can be able to gain an audience. Because what we already established as well, what we already established as well is that what there are people who would still watch him even if they looked at him as a cow, right? And even if you even if you said in the documentary, there are people that still love him.
Well, see, that's the thing. I agree. I believe that is exactly what he's doing, because he knows, irregardless of what his name is connected to, he knows that either A, people hate to love him, or B, people love to hate him.
Yeah,
And people who are hated get more views than people who are loved.
I agree.
Now, the question is, are these platforms going to let him create channels?
I can tell
They
you
originally
will.
nominated him.
Well, I can tell you one that will, and that is most likely going to be Rumble.
True. Yeah, Rumble.
If they can hold Nick Fuentes, they can hold him.
Yeah. Which, again, it's possible.
Because keep in mind, here's the funny part that it's got to be held on. As much as people can say that he is a quote pedophile, if he's not registered, he can always rebut against that.
Yep.
Because all he got to say is this: if you're going to claim that I am a pedophile, prove any kid who actually touched. And that's going to
he's going to say charges.
Yeah. Proof. He's going to say this: prove any kid that I actually touched. Number one. Prove any time where I got arrested for it, where I ever served any time for it. And you're still not going to be able to find it. And by the way, that's going to be very different from our already known aspects of a pedophile, because they're registered. He can still move into an area that's next to a school.
Yep, because he's not on the fucking registry. And that's what pisses me off.
And that's going to be his defense that pisses people off, by the way, that the same people will subscribe and watch him and do everything else.
Yep.
In fact, like what happened when he was driving in the very beginning of the documentary, he's pulling up to a crosswalk. Not to say he was near a school, but obviously he was near a school because you saw all those damn kids. He could do content where he can turn around and say, "Hey, I'm buying a house, guys. I'm walking with my real estate." The broker or the real estate agent doesn't know what the fuck going on. He's sitting on his phone like, and you know what's so crazy? I'm well within a school district, and he can piss people off. That's a high heaven.
This is the last thing I'll say. That's something else that fucking completely caught me off guard in the documentary, because I never saw it when we went over it last night, were all the fucking pictures of him with other people's children and the way he was talking about sexually and shit like that in front of that one little girl in the interview.
So let me talk about something that Shinta says. Nobody's glossing over it. Here's the truth of the matter: it's not important. And let me tell you why it's not important. So you said, still think you're glossing over the fact that he talks about more messed up stuff than just the PDF stuff, and he does his threats and he runs through them all. They are all forbidden. Here's the thing you're not thinking about: they're not all forbidden. We have
they're not.
Creators, plenty of channels, whether it's panels, channels, beefs. Everybody talked about that shit all the goddamn time. No one cares about threats. No one cares about who they want to kill. No one cares about who they talk about pulling up on. No one cares about the fact they show up and they show other niggas' license plates. I'm right here in front of your fucking job. Hey, I just pulled up to your fucking kid's school. No one gives a fuck. It's not forbidden. Not forbidden. I've heard people talk about someone else's fucking wife that went through an accident and she's mentally not there anymore. The husband got to turn around and take care of her. And I've seen motherfuckers say, that's why I'm talking shit about your retarded ass wife. I've seen it. It's not forbidden. It's not forbidden. I don't like it. It's against YouTube policies, but I've seen YouTube skirt the law on their own terms and conditions. And I've talked about it for years, by the way. For years, I have said that. For years.
Hell, I got a fucking friend who's recently come back to my main community, and fucking people have doxed his daughter.
Not threat. Oh, okay.
They've doxed his daughter underage. They've made threats and everything like that, and we all reported these pages. But as soon as he posted a picture of one of the people who doxed his underage daughter's mother, oh, they mass reported him, and he got struck for it. They skirt around who they want to.
I mean, keep in mind, if you have a shit ton of views and enough supporters, which is crazy, you can get by that.
Yeah, because YouTube wants that content there.
If you have enough people around you that will go to complain that you got taken down, don't think that that's not going to be taken into account. So when you say you're talking about the EDP's motivations for the things that he's doing, when you say that, right, can you prove it outside of the fact that he said it? Like, he can say egregious shit, but you know what? You can know what. And he's like, I'm gonna say it, and I can't. The fact that I'm defending it crazy. He can say crazy shit all he wants. Number one, it's his First Amendment right to say so, but also number two, YouTube is not held under the First Amendment. They choose what the fuck they consider to be hate speech, and if they don't care enough, they don't care enough. This is something I tell people on the internet all the time. I can ban you, I can block you, I can say I don't want you to say that fucking word if I want to, and you say, "What's my First Amendment right?" Nigga, this is not an American company. It's private. You have no rights here.
Exactly.
Why do you think so many creators walk around saying bibble babble? They up here all the time. Every time you can't say that. That's a no word. You can't say that. You got plenty of people that you can't say that word. I got grown ass men online. You can't bring out the blick. You can't bring out the gun. You can't talk about the AK. I mentioned all that stuff because of people. Apparently, people don't know how to speak. They don't know the understanding of when you're referencing something, what you're referencing it to, and why it's important to reference it. So just to avoid sounding like a fucking toddler, yeah, you can't talk about the pew pew. Nigga, did you just say pew pew? As a grown ass.
God forbid. Yeah, or God forbid if you say something about doing something to yourself, you got to say self-harm.
Well, see, I don't have a problem with the whole.
I do.
A problem with the whole self-deletion thing. For me, I have a different thing. I just say when you take yourself off the chessboard, because that's a fold. So we say in chess, you fold it. You ended the game early. But I'm saying that in like a metaphorical way. I have no problem with saying death. I have no problem with saying if somebody was killed. I have no problem with if somebody was saying it's murdered. If these are the things that are actually there that we're talking about, that it's in place. Now, do I have a problem with somebody else who is wishing death upon someone else? Absolutely. Now we got a problem. Threats are a problem for me. Me making a statement on something that actually took place is not a problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where my issue comes in. Because, take a lot of these true crime content creators, for example. When they're talking about whatever case they're talking about, they have to edit it basically, which to me takes away the seriousness of what's going on. When they can't say, oh, Johnny 33 raped little Tina too, and have to say, oh, they raped her. To me, you're making a joke out of it.
If they actually did commit that kind of assault on that, and if I'm so, for, if we're watching true crime, right, and they actually, if the perpetrators actually did that sexual act on that woman, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say that they actually raped her. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, but that's what's irritating me, because all of these platforms, from Facebook to YouTube to Instagram to TikTok, I think the only places that you don't have to do it on, being Twitter and fucking Rumble, like you said earlier.
Well, the
you
reason
have to
for that, the reasons for that people are scared about is the fact that they're, and I understand it. I'm not ignorant to it. It's the whole fact that there are a lot of advertisers, right, that invest into YouTube, into the business of YouTube, and therefore there are channels who will receive more of a monetary value if they can avoid particular words because it doesn't sound very good for the advertisers. But here's my rebuttal.
Yeah, say your rebuttal and I'll say
here's my rebuttal. Here's my only rebuttal. If those advertisers don't pay me or don't pay you to give me a list of words that I can't use, what are we doing here? I'm sorry. The idea that you're going to penalize me for things that I don't know about because you have never told me what I can and cannot say, I'm not following that. Until you tell me, hey, until YouTube rolls out a list and just say, hey, to all YouTube creators, here are the words that we are saying here, and they run a whole fucking credits of all the words that you can't say, and say, if you say these words, likely you're not going to be monetized. Then at least people still have the option of, I'm not going to be monetized, but at least I still have my audience. It's cool. But if you're going to say, well, we're not going to really promote you, or the algorithm is going to be against you because you said these words, let people know. Because it was more struggling, people who turn around and speak like actual human beings and don't know why they're being penalized. That's more frustrating.
See, but that's my thing is, why would these advertisers, right, if they're all about the content of, let's say they do promote you as a true crime creator, right? And Resla, I'm going to use you for the example. They're promoting you for the true crime creator that you are. You created a mass following on your own, no help from anybody, no other, partnerships, ads, nothing, right? They come to you, oh, we love what you do, da 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 da. However, can you please not say rape and say grape instead? Can you not say murder and say schmurder or deleted instead? Why am I hiding the truth when you came to me based on the truth that I was saying without editing the real words, all because you want to give me money? What is it about the truth and the real words that are proven in court? Why do they scare you to where you don't want me saying them? It makes me wonder, what do these advertisers have to hide? That they want real words and real actions that happen to real people, like rape, murder, this, that, and the other, to be censored into retarded words like grape, schmurder, self-harm, self-deletion, P3DO for a pedo. Like, why are we hiding and censoring the facts of shit?
I hear you when it comes to that. That's always been my biggest gripe. If you're gonna penalize somebody, you should let them know. You should let the entire community know, the entire platform know what is available, what's not. Because my thing is this: if you're gonna mention advertising dollars, then outside of what is going to the platform altogether, I should know as a creator. What's the thing that's gonna be most beneficial, not just to you, but what is beneficial to me as a creator, so that I can do well so that you can also do well. But when you don't say shit and you penalize me, that's kind of fucked up.
Well, that's my thing. It's not even about
you
not
work
saying
job,
it.
right? You're doing your
A
job.
lot,
You're
a
doing
lot
your
of times,
and then you can turn around. You could do a better job. You could do a better job. But you're not getting a pay, or you're not getting your yearly increase or whatever. And they're like, it's not in the policy or anything, but like, yeah, we're not gonna give you your monthly, your little increase and whatever. And I'm like, why? You're just not doing what the company really needs. Listen, I've been on the coworker of the month list twice. I've been nominated for coworker of the year. I don't barely take no days off. Why is it I can't? Why is it I can't get a raise? And it's like we can't really. The higher ups just don't really think that we should give you the. What the fuck? But because there's no list, there's no like. Well, if you just do this little bit of tweaking, instead of you sending out to the entire department what you want you to do, right? But if you just do, if you didn't add this one extra person in there in your email, like we would give you the money, but we're not going to tell you that. It's like, what are you saying? How am I supposed to know that? You're not, and that's basically what it's like.
well, see, that's my thing. A lot of these content creators, like true crime content creators that I'm talking about, for the example, they all say with their partnerships or to be paid by YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, they have to edit how they say things like murder or rape or pedophile and shit like that. So they know when they agree to these contracts, but that's where my issue lies. Why do they have to agree? Like, why do these companies want these words censored? What do they have to hide? What are they afraid of for 44-year-old Debbie who likes watching true crime to hear Tina, the TikTok true crime fanatic, say that Johnny murdered in 2012?
Imagine that. I'm trying to imagine true crime. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the true crime voice. Debbie Miller, a housewife of 3, was going to the park to go pick up her kids. As she hugged little Jason, she went to go look for Stella when all of a sudden, pew pew, pew pew, pew pew, pew pew. Like, come on.
Why do they want serious
she heard a ring of shots. Crack, 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 crack. And then she couldn't believe what she saw. Little Stella was laying on the ground after a bunch of pew pews was flying through the air. Like, come. Who's watching this? Pew pews flying through the air, and then the worst happened. Little Stella was down. Like, who's watching this?
Yeah, but that's my point. And this is what irks me is they get these true crime people, like let's take I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but Bailey Sarian, for example.
No
she
clue.
started this
watch true crime. I have no clue.
She's this makeup artist who's, gothic and into true crime. So she started a segment called Makeup Murder Monday. And then she started a segment called Dark History. But what really started getting her attention were her Murder Makeup Mondays before she had any fucking advertisers, any partners, anything like that. And she said it all straight up. And then once she starts getting advertised,
shit, she wasn't killed. She was canceled. Like, damn, you ain't shit, mama. Sorry, Jen, you ain't shit for that. That's crazy.
That's good. But that is a true example. So she went from being able to speak about these cases that interested her and interested her viewers openly, plainly, and as real as they are, and then all of a sudden she has to switch gun for pew pew. She has to, switch suicide to unsubscribing from life and stupid shit like that. Like, why does it have to be done? Why can we not say it for what it is?
I am a
I
very big proponent. I am a very big proponent of the English language. It's already bad. Like people who are looked at as educators already use a vernacular that is already appealing to ascribe to, or rather, for some people, because when I say ascribe, they don't really understand. Subscribe to, because we're on content. And then when I tell people who are educators, it's nice. It's nice that you have all of these big words, within your dictionary that you could be able to use. But it doesn't matter if you can't reach the common people and really encourage them to be able to join you on your particular platform, or rather plateau. Let me say that. But then to say that even for the conventional English speaker, the conventional wordsmith, that they have to dumb it down to a
yeah,
language that's less than a high schooler just to be able to speak to their audience is wild to me.
yeah, I agree. That is so fucking yeah. I mean, how many words do we have in the English language from A to Z?
Too many, and at the same time, always keep growing. Rosie, no, I don't stream every day. There was a time where I used to stream 5 days a week, but I don't stream
That's
every. I do got some time coming up, but I still won't be streaming every day. I got a life. I'm not a full-time streamer. I got a fucking life. Like I got a life in a relationship. Like I got shit to do. So I'm not a full-time streamer.
like wicked. And how you said, you know, that people have to dumb it down to like a high school level. Hell, sometimes you have to dumb it down even more than a high school level. Like
Appreciate you, Rosie, for the sub. Appreciate you for following.
I got into a debate, well, really an argument with somebody, right? And I kept saying that somebody was spent. And I meant it as she was either emotionally or mentally spent or
Mm,
skint, something like that. And
gotcha.
somebody tried fucking with me saying, "Oh, spent means or skint means with money, da 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 da. You don't have any." And I had to go look up the fucking word and the definition and send it to them. I said, "No, skint, yes, is mainly used in terms of money, but if you use something else, meaning no more of, you can use it for emotion, physical energy, anything."
Facts.
Oh, that's for money. And when I send them the literal fucking definition, oh, well, how is anybody supposed to know that? Well, if I say something that you don't understand, why not look it up?
Yeah. Because people want to be told what to do. They don't really want to look up for anything on their own. Oh, sorry. Quick side note. Rosie, as much as I'm trying to be on Kick as well, I'm just wondering, the majority of my content is on YouTube. It's a lot. I am trying to be a little bit more on Kick. Trying to develop something for it, but I just want to let you know, if you want to see anything more of what I'm doing, so you can get a good idea as to who the hell you're actually following. Check me out on freaking YouTube, so you can get a good idea. But I am on Kick as well. But I agree. I agree with you, Jen. Like I don't understand the coddling and the corralling of the English language. I think not for nothing, we already have an age description kind of thing going on where you have to decide if it's going to be below 18 or above 18. And the ideal that we're now turning grown adults who are all their content is above the legal age of being an adult, that we still got to turn around and make it look. Because my thing is this: if you're going to have advertisers say, we don't like these words, right? And I'm going to make a point that's very, very important right now, right? If you're
Mm-hmm.
going to have creators curtail their words because of advertising dollars, then those advertising dollars, as much as they pay you as a platform, my current job, since I'm live right now, uh, YouTube as a platform, then I should see something very, very different in my monetization to incentivize me to actually do so. So that's first and foremost. Like, there should be something a little bit more directly, or at least a contract thing, so that I can understand what advertisers are going to pay me and what advertisers are not going to pay me. Because I guarantee you this, and this is the point I'm trying to make, Jen. If I am a content creator with millions of subscribers, are you going to tell me that an advertiser is going to turn around and say, we got a problem and he or she needs to change up their words because it's a little offensive to our brand, when I don't even know who that brand is or who that person is or what that company is? Are you going to tell millions of people watching me and you're going to try to hold me back because I won't use pew pew? No, of course not. You're going to be like, I want as many eyeballs watching my shit on his platform, on his channel, as much as possible. I don't care what he says. He's got eyeballs watching the ads. I could sit here and say probably some real wild shit. Hey, we gonna talk about strippers, hoes, da 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 da. But if I give you an ad that's now talking about getting your dick hard, like, you care what I said in between then when I'm doing now an advertisement that promotes your shit? Because what was it better? When I'm sitting here I'm a low level creator, or I'm a tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands a creator, and you can't get really anyone to watch your shit, but now I got thousands of people watching me, and you're saying I'm not gonna have 1,000 people watch my advertisement from you, when on an average you don't even get people watching you like that. You don't make sense.
Exactly.
You can go, Jen. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, not even about viewers in the monetary value. My thing is, how are you going to come to a channel that is clearly doing well before you ever reach out and demand these changes, but not explain why you have an issue with the real words being used? To me, that
Right.
just says you're hiding something.
I understand that, and that's my entire point. That's why I don't really go crazy on the aspect of content filtering, because I'm like, if you haven't given, I'm a person that I do the contracts or whatever, or I like to look at contracts or terms and conditions or whatever, and I may not remember every one of them, but I remember the things that are very, 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 very important. So when people say things like, you can't do this and you can't do that, I'm like, cool, I won't do those things. But when I see content creators who are doing well, who are gaining subscribers, who do exactly all the stuff that you say don't do, I'm like, now I gotta call you out. Because now I feel like I am being slighted. I'm saying rules for thee, but not for me. So
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I'm allowed to talk shit about someone's kids, someone's wife. I'm allowed to say what I would do to them in the most heinous and sick and sexual ways, disrespect other people, run fucking content, do my own little shorts, all that different stuff. And you're sitting there watching my numbers rise because of all the controversy. But when I look at your terms and conditions, you say all this shit is banned. I'm looking at you and I'm going, what? Are you serious? But you're gonna say, you know what? But all those people, they're not being monetized. Oh, you mean they're not getting ads, but you're allowing other people to donate to them. Are they getting more money from their advertising dollars, or are they getting more money from the people that donate to them on a regular basis? I think they're getting more money from people that donate to them, because you're not cutting off their access to the super chat button. You're not cutting out their channels because they put in a CashApp link. So what are you doing? Which means it's fair game. So if that's fair game and we have advertisers, let the advertisers choose who they want to support. Don't you hinder people who are coming up or who do things that are uniquely credible to get eyeballs who will watch, then set advertisers budgets for you. Don't penalize us for it. Don't penalize us for being great. Don't penalize us for being unique. Don't penalize us for finding new ways to make things happen. And most of all, don't stunt our growth as fucking adults. If this is a kid channel, have at it. It's below whatever. But we're talking about adults. Like, what are we doing here? That's my personal feeling on it. Resto in the chat. What's going on, my guy? He said, you're... Appreciate you, Resto. That's just the way how I look at it. Sorry, I feel like I did a lot. I did a lot there. I did a lot there, but anyway, I think we're gonna end it there, especially because like I'm gonna take this moment. But thanks, Jen. Jen had a lot that she was putting up there. I do appreciate it. You came in here, Resto. You came in here real late. You walked in real late. I was supposed to end this about almost 40 minutes ago. Damn, I don't even know what to do about it. We have been on Kick. We have also been here. He said, "Fucking headphones on." Oh, it's okay, Jen. You know, I was trying to do all this stuff, and now we're sitting there talking about my employer right now while I'm live, and so I don't want them getting too salty. Anyway, I appreciate you also on the Kick side. If you haven't, be sure to actually follow me on the Kick side. I do need to be a little bit more active, or rather, active and live on the Kick side, which I will be doing. But for the most part, I am here mainly on YouTube. And that's just the way how I kind of came up in the game. So sorry, it's nothing personal. It's just like I gotta get more used to actually being up on Kick, and I'm gonna run it that way. But by the way, if you haven't, be sure to follow me. I'm on all kind of platforms. No, I'm not on like Rumble or Trovo or whatever, but I am on these particular platforms. I do need to do a little bit more shorts because I've been slacking. Your boy been slacking like crazy, but I'm going to be a little bit more once I get a good schedule in, and then we will run it from there. So, of course, follow me, of course. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure that you hit that notification all. I'm noticing that almost 20-something%. Actually, I'm lying. It's actually more than that. It's more than 20-something% of people who actually watch me. They don't actually subscribe to me. So be sure to actually subscribe to me, especially because I want to know exactly what you guys know what we're doing in this channel and what we're moving forward. Outside of that, if you haven't watched it, catch me on the replay. I will see you guys, of course, on the next one. And we're going to end it there. Probably see you tomorrow. But don't you hold me to that. Later, y'all.
Truth is what survives.
Appreciate Jen for showing up.
Get stripped away. Most people ain't lost. They just been avoiding what they know to face. Resla is like that quiet thought that don't leave when the room get loud. Resla is like that feeling when the truth land and your pride sit down. Resla is like a mirror with pressure, no filter, no soft disguise. What people avoid when they swear they self-aware.